Hello and welcome to our next session of... Just kidding. It's our first ever official session of the Runtime Initiative.
Woo! Huzzah!
Yay! Come on, guys.
I was a new delayed for effects, so it
Really,
sounds like there's more people here.
we planned on sounding
Theo,
excited.
you could have barked. It would have been perfect.
Theo's outside.
Oh, Theo is barking outside in
Good
spirit.
call. There we go.
Yeah, so this is where we're going to be from now on, and it's going to be awesome. So, the last time we played,
Everything went well.
everything was fine.
We went home.
Probably.
This is probably fine.
This is postmortem.
Had just finished a...
I know.
You had just finished a rest at the Narveen outpost, and the next day you made your way out from the outpost, heading east again, aiming towards Blingdenstone. You found yourselves experiencing a strange feeling of being watched, being followed, as you headed through this strange, winding, honeycomb-like series of tunnels. At some point, you heard a strange thudding and were ambushed by a remarkably well-coordinated group of hill giants, which you fended off like you do. Not too long after that, you saw a strange group of floating, tentacled spaghetti pancakes.
There they are.
I'm all about
as
spaghetti
we
pancakes.
affectionately refer to them as. And Vera was able to identify them as aberrations, the same type of creatures that mind flayers and beholders and the like, all the eldritch horror things are. So Yormik investigated a little bit, threw down one of his illusions, but ultimately decided to flee along with you all. You made haste continuing through the tunnel further east for a little while longer before you found east-ish.
You did at some point.
What?
Yeah, slow.
Cast haste.
Oh.
Made haste. Anything
You
haste.
made haste. And you made slows. Any hoozle.
Oh my god.
You were traveling through the tunnels when the feeling of being watched and pursued peaked. And suddenly, from all directions, you found yourselves assailed by a group of mind flayers that all blasted you repeatedly with their mind blast ability, incapacitated. What?
Just make sure you finish a sentence with what you finish a sentence with.
They blasted you with...
Their tentacles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Knocking you all unconscious, Globagul included, but not before Jimjar scurried away.
Traitor.
Bastard. He was smart.
My bad. I mean, dead man.
The last one conscious, having failed repeated intelligence saving throws to break out of the stun.
What are you talking about?
Was good old Brinstormwind.
I, much like Vera, faked escaping and was free the whole time and just was inviting.
I'm
my
gonna
time.
play stunned. It looks a lot like being stunned.
Look, I mean, look at my performances, man.
he did a
You're
lot-
not wrong.
He was a lot more convincing
Careful
than I
with
was.
the paper on the other side of that.
What?
Saw a glimpse of that.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Things to come.
I missed it.
Dang it. Got him. But Brent, you were the last to fall unconscious, having watched all of your allies fall before you.
Just because I'm the strong one
So-
of the group.
We start off with Vera.
Christ.
You awaken, lying on your back, staring up at a blank ceiling. Sitting up to look around, you realize you were lying on a table of sorts. The room around you is a peculiarly rounded shape, with a closed door on the wall directly in front of you. The room is filled with many large, strangely shaped bottles and jars containing various colorful liquids. There are also several tables or like workbenches with what appear to be surgical instruments or instruments of torture, or perhaps both.
So what's the difference?
Yeah. You are not restrained. You're just sitting on this table.
You said there was a door.
There's a door directly in front of you.
Okay. What am I? Do I have? I'm gonna check inventory first.
Sure. So you have pretty much everything you would normally expect to.
Okay.
Your medallion is still around your neck. Your component pouch is still at your side.
Okay. All right. I'm going to.
You don't have your like main backpack bag, but that's just sort of your.
And I don't have my spellbook, or I do. Because it's not in my backpack; it's on my side.
Then you do have your spell.
Okay. Because look, see, it's right there.
it's in the mini.
It's right
It's in the
there.
mini.
That makes it canon.
All right.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna get up and listen to the door to see if I can hear anything moving around.
Okay. So make a perception check. As you get up and look around the room more, it does appear that you were alone in here.
11.
It's
12.
it's like about a 20-foot wide space. The room that you're in, it's not particularly large.
Okay.
Sorry, what was the roll?
12.
12. You don't hear anything on the other side of the door.
Right. Is it a conventional door, like a wooden door, metal door, or is it something weird?
So it's a wooden door with like sort of like standard metal like slats supporting it.
Okay. Okay. With the metal slats. Okay. So I'm gonna check and see if it's locked.
Okay.
Very quietly, if I can.
All right. Make a sleight of hand check.
I'm really good at those. +1.
I sense some amount of sarcasm.
14.
14.
Yeah.
Okay. Relatively quietly, you turn the handle on the door, pull. It opens with a small creak. But past the door, outside the door, you see a hallway extending out in front of you. It's a rounded hexagonal shape down this hall that appears to have been carved out of the same stone as the room you just left, or
Is it-
that you were in currently.
When you say it's
You're-
rounded hexagonal, you mean like the profile of the hallway?
Yes.
So how are the doors in a hexagonal?
Well, I mean, there's like wall that encloses this rectangular door.
Makes sense.
Okay, I think so. Okay.
The
Okay.
door is still the same. It's just the wall is.
Yeah, but if the wall goes like this, how does it?
But then like it fills into the door frame.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Oh.
You should have- Do you want to hit the music real quick too?
Oh. Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Um.
I kind of forgot.
Me too. I meant to actually do it a while ago.
This is a hexagonal room.
Approximately.
It's on. Yeah. Okay. So the room's hexagonal.
No, they're kind of a rounded, almost dome shape.
Okay. 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 So looking up and down the hallway, are there other doors? Is there a room at the end of the hallway? Yeah.
So the hallway in front of you it's entirely dark. The only reason that you can see down the hallway is because of your dark vision. But all the way down at the edge of your dark vision, it's still just hallway.
Okay.
You don't see any doors or intersections.
Well, I don't have invisibility, which is unfortunate right now. I'm going to go back in the room, leaving the. I don't want to throw it squeak again, so I'm gonna leave the door as it is, and I'm going to go back in the room and do a quick search for any more of my stuff, and any I don't want to spend a lot of time doing this, but just in case there's some sort of like secret passage, if I see anything that's obvious.
Okay.
I'm hoping there's like a back door out of here. I don't think there's going to be.
Sure. So yes, roll an investigation check for me.
It's good. 26.
26. So this room's not very large. That's an excellent investigation check, and it doesn't take you too long, sort of looking over the seams in the stone, the edges of the room and the wall. You're pretty confident that there's not any secret passage out of this
Okay.
out of this room. You also don't find any more of your gear in this room.
Okay. I assume that I do not have my staff.
Your staff is not with you.
Okay. Can I tell if my mage armor is on me right now?
Your mage armor is not active.
It's been a while then.
Yep.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to. I need to cast one abjuration spell every day in order for my shield to regenerate. Usually it's mage armor, but since I don't have my staff, I'm going to cast Absorb Elements as a first level spell to generate that shield.
Okay.
The spell itself isn't mostly wasted, but it's going to give me some extra oomph.
Yeah. No, that's entirely fair.
That stuff happens. And with nothing else in the room, I'm going to.
So the room's not empty. There are like
Yeah.
almost like a strange alchemy lab, except there's less instruments for measuring and like larger like jars and
Do I have any?
containers, I guess.
Do I have any insight into, based on the tools that are in the room, what kind of procedure might be done in here? Or does my knowledge of mind flayers tell me that as well?
Make just a straight intelligence check for that.
23.
23. So, I mean, the implements on the workbenches are mostly sharp. You could sort of do pretty much any number of, I guess, what would pass for surgical operations with them. The fluids in the jars you don't particularly recognize. Like, none of them are like, oh, well, this one's filled with alchemist's fire or something that's would be common sense to a wizard of your tenure.
Okay. And then, so I'm not exactly sure what they're doing here. Just they have the sharp tools and what exactly they'd be doing, I'm not sure. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to grab a scalpel or something sharp that I can stab someone with if I have to.
Okay.
Because I don't have anything else.
Yeah, there are no shortage of options for you to grab.
Maybe something that looks like it might be good to pick a lock.
Okay. Yeah, there's probably you can find like a pair of like long forceps, another one that's sort of like a very thin but pointed, almost like a long like knitting needle.
Okay.
But it comes to a pretty fine point at the end, and then there are several sizes of anything from scalpels to small saws.
Okay. Okay. So like 2 or 3 different tools. Again, I'm sort of like in a rush, sort of like sweating frenziedly here.
Yeah.
Just like trying to remain calm and panicking at the same time. And Do any of the vials in this room look like maybe magical? I don't know if I actually have to cast detect magic.
Make an Arcana check.
Not great. 26. Or 16. Off by 10.
None of them appear to be magical from what you can tell looking at them.
Okay, then I'm getting out of here. I'll leave the room, open the door quietly again. Well, I left it open, and then slowly start sneaking down the hallway as quietly as I can, trying to find. Dude, any of the doors I see, I want to look in to see if maybe there's anyone I know, or if there's someone I don't know. Either way,
Fair.
I want to know. and make my way out into the hallway.
Okay. So you head out into the hallway. Are you? So are you trying to move stealthily for
Yeah, I'm
this?
trying to be quiet.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a stealth check.
So really good at these. Okay,
Wow.
apparently I am. Well, 19.
19. Okay, not bad. You keep small, stick close to the wall, and sort of creep and make your way down this tunnel or hallway. You make it down almost 100 feet through this hall.
There's no other doors.
Nothing yet.
Okay. As I'm going, not actually, I'm not gonna talk about yet. Okay, 100 feet. And just still more hallway.
Just gonna keep going.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So you continue heading down this very long hallway. After another, I don't know, 200, 300 feet. It's hard to tell because it all looks the same. You come upon your first, I guess, tunnel intersection. Very similarly sized and like diameter, profile, shape tunnel cuts across perpendicular to the tunnel that you've been heading down.
Does my hallway continue, or is it a T intersection?
It continues.
Okay.
So it's the full four-way.
Wish I had Brain's little compass right now. Might tell me which way we should be going. Is there any difference between, or any signs or indications about which direction the hallway might go where?
There are no obvious indicators. Like there's no signage. You haven't seen any other doors save the one you came out of.
Gosh. Okay.
And they're all still dark.
All right. I'm going to treat it like a maze and just stick right. But I am also going to, especially in this intersection, try and see if I can. I want to avoid any traps that could be in the area that might alarm people that I'm moving around.
Okay. So I guess make an investigation check as you sort of look around for traps as you continue sort of moving slowly down the hall.
It's a good skill, but I didn't roll well. Can do math. 13.
13. Okay. So you move down this side hallway just a little bit.
Wish I had my guide right now. He would know where to go.
Actually, let me.
You hear a voice in your
Go loud. Oh shit. Good thing I went right.
We're gonna kill every illithid.
In the world.
As long as we get a long rest between each fight.
We're fine. And they don't.
You spot a little ways down this tunnel a fine piece of silver wire that seems to be laid across the hallway.
I think I know exactly what that's for.
What could that do?
It's to kill werewolves.
They're practicing for what we're gonna do against the Demogorgon.
Yeah. Find silver wire.
Hey!
All right. No, we can't. And it goes all across the hallway, I assume.
Yeah, it just right across. You could step over it. Like it's basically like tripping level.
Right, but I'm assuming that it's the alarm spell because I use that spell, and if I use I could use detect magic to see if it's actually magical, or I could just dispel it outright. Is there a way to? I assume that are these kinds of things, especially since I can cast a spell, are they disarmable via non-magical means?
Yeah. So
I'm not sure I would take that risk, but it's going to be
let's
interesting.
look up the alarm spell.
You just have to set it off. And it goes away.
You're not
Doesn't-
wrong.
That's how it
Well, I
works.
think it would keep going off.
So the
It's just buggy.
arcane lock spell can still be picked. It basically just like
Yes.
makes it substantially harder to do so,
Yes.
but it's not like unbreakable. The alarm spell doesn't have that non-magical
Disarm.
point of failure.
You're right. Okay. I'm going to go a different way first.
Okay.
And although I am going to. What did it on me? I'm going to take. I'm going to try and use a scalpel to rip off an end of my sash. Just a tiny piece of fabric and just put it on the ground right by the wire so I can find it later.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go back down the hallway like I came and then go right again.
Okay, so you're going
Effectively-
back the original direction, basically.
Effectively going straight from where I had come from originally.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you get back to that intersection and hang a right. After another 100 or so feet down this tunnel, you notice that the walls start to have a slight sheen to them. There's like a little like glossy effect to them. And upon closer inspection, that I mean, you can do without like you're not like, oh cool, let me go
What's
look at
this?
it. Let me just oh my god. It looks like some strange like oozing material or gelatinous thing.
And say,
No,
Gabagool,
it's-
no! What did they do to you?
Not exactly like what Globagool looks like, but yeah, it just seems to be like stuck to the walls and almost just like slowly like flowing the whole way around the tunnel.
All right. I'm gonna nope out of that, and I hope I don't have to come back this way and then turn around again, and check the last tunnel that I haven't checked yet.
Okay, so you turn around and make your way back to the intersection. Make a perception check when you get there.
So 11 plus. Couldn't find it. 16 total.
16 total. So you notice when you reach this intersection again, your marker that you left behind is not on the ground.
The one down the hallway by the wire.
Mm-hmm. You weren't too far down that before the.
Okay. It's
Free spot
it
there.
moved. It's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go check the last tunnel.
Okay. You head down that tunnel. After.
Actually, before I go,
Oh, sure.
I'm going to do it again. And put it in the center of the intersection this time.
Okay. Make another perception check as you do so.
Natural 1.
Okay. You set down the piece of fabric in the middle of the floor
Okay.
and head back. As you
In there.
move, as you cross over down the left tunnel, you get 80 or so feet down it before you start to hear this just like almost moist, almost wet, like plopping sound, like but at the same time it almost sounds like a slithering at the same time.
Okay. And I don't. The hallway just continues. No doors. It's just.
The hallway continues in front of you.
Shit. How long has it been approximately since I escaped my room? minutes wise?
Probably like 20 or so minutes.
Okay. I'm going to cast Detect Magic on myself,
Okay.
and I'm going to head towards the silver wire that I found.
Okay. You turn around, hightail it back.
Okay.
As you get to the point where you, I mean,
Check the cloth again.
huh? Yeah, no, I was gonna say is you get to the point where you expect to see the intersection, but what you encounter instead is more straight tunnel that also seems to. You hit a point down the straight tunnel where you see the slime on the walls.
Okay. I'm assuming my detect magic is not picking anything up.
No, your detect magic does not indicate that the ooze is in any way magic.
Okay. I'm just, 'cause it's 10 minutes code in front of me. I just want something weird's going on here, and I don't know what it is. So I'm detecting magic to hopefully identify any kind of magical source as I'm moving around.
Okay.
Just as like a FYI kind of thing.
All right.
I gotta put this off.
Everyday normal dripping ball ooze.
With disappearing things and
It's probably fine.
It's probably fine.
We're gonna find out that this is just an elaborate Yormik prank.
There you go. I'm actually
Loki, the
Right.
god of mischief, the whole time.
That would make so much sense.
It would be great, wouldn't it?
As you pause for a moment, trying to decide on your next move, you again hear the weird slithering, plopping noise slowly. Shut up. You hear it approaching
from behind me.
from behind you.
I'm gonna turn around, stay low, and see if I can see it before it sees me. Does it sound? Can I get? Do I have any kind of indication of how far away it might be before it gets to me?
So as you turn around, it becomes very quickly apparent how far it is from you.
Great.
So it's at the edge of your vision. So you're still a good 60 feet away, but you see a humanoid-shaped figure, clad in robes of red and gold, and wearing a porcelain white mask. There are several pouches and scrolls attached to a leather belt and like a shoulder bandolier, and it holds a staff in one hand.
It's my staff.
Hard to tell from this distance.
Bastard, it's my staff.
As
Yeah,
it
is.
comes
It's only
close,
30-foot range.
as it comes closer to you, you realize that this creature is not actually humanoid, but rather a grotesque collection of writhing worm-like insects that coalesce into this scarecrow filling that passes for a body that's filling out these robes. It continues walking or slithering towards you. And what you see is this.
I don't like it. That's not my staff.
That's probably a fighter.
Oh my god.
I just processed what you said. Okay. I'm
Million.
gonna,
That's
I'm gonna call out to it quietly. I'm not gonna yell.
He was a millionaire.
Stop right there! What are you? Get away! I will hurt you.
The gaze of the porcelain mask, where it had originally sort of been staring blankly forward as you speak to it, just darts down at you. It continues moving towards you. Its pace slightly quickened, but it's not running. It's, I don't know, a fast walking speed, I guess.
Okay.
But it does not reply.
And it doesn't speed up or slow down.
It speeds up a little bit, like it locks its gaze on you and begins to speed up in your direction.
I'm going to cast Ray of Frost at its feet. Trying not to.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead and make a spell attack roll, but this is actually going to be at advantage.
You said you weren't trying to
22.
hit it?
Yeah, I'm trying not
22. Oh wait, trying not to hit it. You're trying to hit
the ground in front of it.
the ground in front.
It's a
of it.
warning shot.
Okay. Oh yeah. Sorry. Then yeah, you've no
Okay,
problem.
I'm like-
you have no problem not hitting
Like,
it. There's
natural one, I
everywhere,
accidentally-
but
I
there
accidentally
is.
hit him.
Oh, no.
Like, shit.
I attacked the guy. Oh god. You fire out the ray of frost at the ground, and it ices over the floor of the tunnel in front of it. But it continues moving towards you.
Okay.
It's about 30 feet away from you at this point.
Can I see? Are there any magical auras coming from it?
The scrolls, there are several of them tucked into the leather
Okay.
waistband or belt around the creature's robes. And the staff, which you do note is not your staff.
Okay. I'm going to start moving away from him down towards the slimy hallway.
Okay.
Yay.
Um,
I'm on board with this.
so the creature continues after you.
Am I able to keep it from getting any closer to me, or is it catching up?
I mean, are you going like
I'm going.
full on, are you like
Mm,
full on sprint double move, or
so I'm going to start off, if I can, by double moving at half speed to like move stealthily still. So like I'm like quietly speed running, speed walking.
Okay.
Fuck. And if it's getting close to me, then I'm gonna switch to running.
Okay. Yeah, you continue down into the hallway that is oozing, and as you speed up, its pace similarly increases.
This time I'm gonna aim a frostbolt at it to hit it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack. Again, at advantage.
So I think so. Ooh, 14
A 14 total with advantage.
with advantage. It was 7 and 2.
So you hit the ground in front of its feet again.
Yeah, intentionally.
Yeah.
It was
For a brief moment, reassure yourself. You're like, I meant to do that, and then keep on going. At this point, the creature raises its writhing hand holding the staff,
Okay.
and aims the staff in your direction.
I'm not a fan of this.
No.
I'm just gonna put that out there.
Oh Jesus.
Hate when
Well, I
Kevin
mean-
says that. Counterspell.
I don't know that it's a spell.
That's true. Probably spell that.
It's probably a spell.
So, you see a clearish, purplish bolt of energy launch from the end of the staff towards you.
Okay.
Would you like to attempt to counterspell as you see this effect occur?
I might not be able to identify it.
Or yeah, no, sorry, you
Staff.
can use your reaction to identify it.
Well, okay. 21.
21. This is an Eldritch Blast.
It's
I've never
Wickham.
s-
Oh
I
no!
said we were going to meet up with Wickham.
No wonder
no.
Wickham's eliminating Stefan's new character.
Wormcom.
Wickham.
Don't say it too slow. Don't say it too slow.
Sorry. Or no. Okay.
I'm not gonna counterspell it.
Not gonna counterspell. Okay. So the first is a 24 to hit with the first beam,
That hits.
and the second one also a 24.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
Those both hit.
Plus 21.
Do I want to use any of my reactions to help with that? What do I have here? What's that gonna help me? Okay, what's the damage?
You take 4 points of force damage from the first bolt and 5 from the second bolt.
Not too bad.
All day.
9 total.
Certainly beats a mind blast.
Okay, yes it does. Alright, I'm gonna run as fast as I can away from him now.
Okay. So if you're just bolting, it's going to take one more Eldritch Blast shot at you as you just sprint past its to the outside of its range.
Right, okay.
A non-natural 20 and a 14.
Hold on, I forgot my AC is because...
It should be -3 if your normal one is with Mage Armor.
Mage Armor gets +3.
Yeah.
Then I'm at 12, so 14. You said him? Is that one?
Yeah, so
I'm
it
gonna
ties.
shield that one.
Shield that one? Okay. Yeah, so the first one strikes you in the back again, and you take 7 points of force
Hold on,
damage
hold
from
on. I can't shield. It's in my staff.
it. Oh.
Okay, 7 points on the first one, and realizing I'm like, shit, I don't have it. Projected ward instead.
Okay.
That's the second hit.
So, yeah, you put your ward up, and the second one, it's going to deal 7 points of force damage to the ward.
Okay, and how much damage did the first one do?
7.
7?
Yeah, so 7 from both of them.
Okay, and so now I'm running.
Okay. So you just take off down this slime-covered hallway and leave the writhing creature in your wake. As it leaves your sight, it's still heading in your direction.
Is it keeping up?
Huh?
Is it keeping up?
It does not full-on run the way you're running.
Okay.
At least not while it's in your line of sight.
Okay. I'm gonna get as far away from it as I can.
Okay. You
Do I have any idea
continue
what it
on.
was?
What?
Do you have any idea what it was?
Roll an Arcana check.
21.
21. Seems to be a motif lately. You know that creature is some sort of aberration. It is not naturally of like the material plane, or not natively of the material plane.
Okay.
Though you don't know what sort of creature takes that kind of shape.
Okay. Kind that I want to get away from.
Yeah. Okay. So you continue running down the slime hall away from the creature.
Mm-hmm.
Bryn,
Oh, hey.
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 it's softer to the touch than you expected, you note as you dexterously massage away. You were the last one to fall during the ambush, and the first one to awaken in the aftermath. The creatures did their best to impose unconsciousness on you, but the son of Ender Stormwind is nothing if not resilient. Despite not having fully regained consciousness at the time, you still remember bits and flashes of how you got here. You recall finding yourself in a large, dome-shaped room. Around you are your companions, all still unconscious. Notably absent are Jimjar and Glavagool. You see... each one being inspected and looked over by a different illithid. Entering from a nearby hallway, you see another Mind Flayer enter. This one quite a bit taller than the other ones you've seen, with purple skin and wearing dark robes, and holding a tall staff. You hear a telepathic voice speak out, and you notice all of the other illithids in the room right themselves a little bit and sort of clearly take note as it begins to speak. When the cleansing is completed, send the warriors for proving. The elf is mine, but Kuor may have the dwarf. Send these two down to Sycorax and Drucht for examination and preparation. The beasts will keep the servants fed for some time. And this one, when you hear those words in your head, you feel yourself magically lifted off the ground. This one will have the highest honor. You snap back to the present as you hear an enormous voice boom inside your mind, which you know to be emitted from the very being upon which your hands lay. I do not bore you, do I, Bryn Stormwind? Come now, play me a song I've never heard, and do be quick about it. Yeah.
So am I? So I'm sitting in front of him, or I'm massaging him?
Yeah, we'll get back to it.
Okay.
Nero.
I didn't know if I actually had to play this song.
Yeah, I mean, you have some time to come up with a good like 4-liner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, super easy. All right.
I mean,
You're a bard. You come naturally.
Yeah.
you know what you're singing to. I showed you earlier. It was
Yeah, it comes real natural.
Old MacDonald had a farm.
Nero. You awaken suddenly, your head still pounding from the psychic assault of your previous encounter. As you come to your senses, the first thing you see is actually a relieved-looking Eldith who greets you. Oh, thank Moradin you're awake. As you look around and attempt to take in your surroundings, you notice that you're in a small, almost domed, kind of egg-shaped room. There is what might pass for a stone slab bed on the floor near one side of it, and a door, or a doorway in front of you leads out into a hall.
Do I have any of my stuff with me?
You do not have the bag of holding, but you are still clad in your armor, and you still possess your greatsword.
So I look at my sword. I'm assuming I'm not holding it because I just woke up. I'll pick it up, and I'll look over to Elda. What happened? Where are the others?
I don't know. I woke up here before you did. I haven't seen anyone else. There's some, I don't know, one of these tentacle monsters. He'll be back soon. He was waiting for you to wake back up.
Have you checked? Is there a door, or is it just open?
So there is a door. It's a not super heavy, but it's a stone door. It looks to have been finely hewn, even into like the hinge of it in the stone. But it's open.
Have you checked what's out there?
Yeah, you can come take a look if you like. There's just more servants, thralls. I don't know what you call us.
All right. So I'll start walking out of the room that we're in.
Okay. You rise to your feet and you walk out the doorway. You find yourself in a hallway with quite a few other similarly shaped doors dotting it on both sides, in both directions from where you egressed. You see a variety of creatures down here. Some you recognize, some you don't. There's quite a few Quagoths, a handful of some of the smaller humanoid types, Zverfneblin, a handful of Drow, Durgar, just sort of all sorts, as well as a few more like monstrous looking entities. But they all move fairly calmly, with a bit of purpose, but at the same time it's like this is just clearly where they're at. No one's trying to escape or fight. And yeah, you even notice at the far end of one of the halls a tall two-headed a giant-like creature that you recognize from your encounter with oh my god, I just lost it, in the Horlstone tunnels. It's not the same Etten, but it's an Etten.
Okay. Does he seem to be like guarding an exit, or is he just chilling like the rest of us?
He's chilling in front of a larger doorway over here. As you inspect your surroundings, you notice a mind flayer approaching you, which there are several about. It's not the only one in sight, but this one is clearly approaching you and Elnith. He gets to you, and you hear the voice in your head go, "At last you're awake."
I say nothing back. Just stare him down, like clutching my sword.
Ilsen Corian has deemed you worthy to be his new warrior. I would not advise making a slight out of that.
Ilsen Corian?
Yes, Ilsen Corian, the Ulitharid of this colony.
Do I know what an Ulitharid is?
Roll a...
I'm sure I had that when I was like 7 or something.
either intelligent, or I guess Arcana check. I don't know if you're proficient in it, but it's the same difference.
Oh. 16.
16. Yeah, so the idea of an Ulitharid is basically that it's sort of an alpha amongst mind flayers.
Oh.
A bit larger and more powerful.
His warrior for what?
Why, for the arena.
Oh yeah, obviously. Duh.
Duh. He told us that we were
Yeah.
unconscious.
And what's to stop me from cutting you down right now?
I would not advise doing so. The freedoms we allot you are in order to preserve your prowess on the battlefield for your survival. They are, however, not... It is, however, not a requirement that you maintain control of your own appendages. You can be puppeted if it is required, but we find that the warriors in our arenas tend to do better under their own power.
Where are my other friends? Where's the other elf?
Other
He's half.
elf. Oh, right. I don't know anything about any friends of yours. You were sent to me by Ilsen Gorian. Or courtesy of Ilsen Gorian. He told me I am to perform your proving along with hers to see if you have what it takes to do battle in front of the colony.
And when will this battle take place?
That depends on if you survive your test.
Bring it on.
Very well. This way. So he leads you down the hall to the right until you hit another opening. You travel a few hundred feet through a few more sort of larger common areas. You notice that there is a lock and gate sort of system, like two different gates that can be closed to like close off where you just headed out from, which are quickly open and closed to allow you and Eldith and this Mind Flayer passage. As you exit those pens, you pass through what just has to be sort of a common area for the Illithids. You pass like dozens of them as you follow your guide, and you overhear small little bits of telepathic conversation as you go, which is surprisingly mundane in nature. This is their home, so they live here, and it seems that each of them sort of has their own personality, identity, whatever you want to call it. But eventually, after passing through several smaller common areas, you reach the end of another tunnel hallway and find yourself in a much, much larger chamber. At its very center, there is a hexagonal arena, which is currently unoccupied. This is where you will do battle. If you prove yourself worthy, and you as well, he says to Eldith, then you will be allowed to take part in our most treasured pastime.
Very well. Let's get this started.
All right. You see this Mind Flayer turn to another, and you don't hear anything because it's speaking telepathically. But after a pause, turns back to you and says, "Arrive momentarily. Please do make any preparations you deem necessary." Do anything?
Man, momentarily is vague. So I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes, and then after that, I'm going to cast protection from evil and good of myself.
Okay. Or wait, so you're waiting a couple minutes and then doing it?
Yeah.
how long does it last? I'm just curious.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. So you find that you time that spell very well, as a clearly non-illithid creature somewhat casually walks into this same larger room. It's a humanoid creature, but it's covered in fur. It has a very canine-like snout to it, claws, the whole gamut. It is a type of creature that is quite familiar to you. In front of you stands a fully transformed werewolf.
Go time. Question. A werewolf is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead.
Make a... Well, okay. So either make a nature check or... Yeah, no, this would be... No, for you it'd be religion because of...
Selune.
Because of Selune.
Come on, for once.
You don't know anything.
It's an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
So...
I hunt these, but I don't know.
Well, you've never really thought... So they're shape changers, right? So
Yeah.
customarily, they're not necessarily werewolves full-time.
Yeah.
So usually it sort of depends what the
State
creature... what state it's in, what creature type it was born of.
Okay.
But you do know that it's a shape changer.
Okay.
It walks to the side of the hexagonal arena. The mind flayer who guided you here asks, "Are you prepared?"
I say, Ignium, light up my moon-touched great sword.
You see him recoil initially.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, compared to there's very minimal amounts of light in here. It's not completely pitch dark, because not all of the thralls see or perceive as well as the illithids, and so they require some light. But compared to that, the moonlight of your blade is quite bright.
And I'll click my boots speed.
You see the werewolf who's been eyeing you from the far side of the arena when your sword lights up, just like how a dog kind of like cocks its head to the side.
Yeah.
And you watch it take a step in, and the relative calm of its face dissipates and is replaced with a growling snarl.
It's time to put you down.
I don't do a good werewolf impression now, Mel. All right. Do you step into the arena?
Oh yeah,
All right.
with gusto.
With gusto.
On second thought, no.
Actually, I'm good. All right.
Eldest, you be the champion. So the reason I ask about that is because if he is one of said listed creature types, he has disadvantage on attack rolls against me.
Oh, sorry, yeah, that spell.
Yeah.
Duly noted. I will do what I gotta do.
Okie dokie.
Okay. So, you step into the arena. As soon as your second boot hits the ground in there, the same voice, the voice of the one who guided you here, you just hear him coolly say, "Begin." And so go ahead and roll initiative, Nero.
Okay, not bad. 12.
12?
Mm-hmm. better than less than.
It's not gonna beat. It's 17.
Oh,
man.
mine is 10.
Don't forget where you are in the initiative order.
Gotta keep track of it.
After the werewolf.
Okay.
But also before the werewolf.
Right. Just both before and after the werewolf.
Right, of
Here we
course.
go. Right. Don't forget.
All right. So as soon as those words pass through your mind, the werewolf takes off, charging straight at you. It moves 40 feet straight towards you.
Sucks.
That's 40.
Do put him back where he was, because I think there is a way that he gets there rather than like the zigzag. Well, okay, that's not where he started.
That's not at all where he started.
Right.
Jordan.
He was like one closer to Stefan, one closer to Lenny.
He can definitely make it there.
Yeah, I was gonna say because
5,
like
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
yeah, okay. I was like, you did that like really
The
like
most
oh yeah, he's gonna
inefficient
run at
way.
you, but he bounced 5
He's
feet
gonna
to the
do it.
side every
He's
time.
serpentining towards the guy with the sword.
Euro stepping you. All right.
There's a guy with a sword and he's serpentine moving.
Don't worry
But
about
yeah,
it.
with a snarl, it charges towards you.
Yeah.
Very slight.
And makes some attacks at you. It first attempts to just go for the jugular, take a bite out of your neck, and that is a
Nap the neck.
That's my one weakness.
it is an 18 to hit with
Is
the
my
bite.
armor class.
That is your
Full
armor class. Okay.
Disadvantage?
What?
Was that disadvantage?
I don't know. Kevin didn't tell us if he was going to be at disadvantage or not.
No.
I'm rolling 2 dice and doing what is correct to do. So it comes up and just the speed that it has takes you by surprise.
It actually works this time because we're facing a werewolf.
Right. And you take 5 points of piercing damage as it just into your neck. It follows up with a rake up your side with its claws. But it's only going to be 14 with that. It is not enough. It doesn't pierce at all through the dragon scale armor you wear. But with that, it is your turn.
So I'll just like.
Wait, I'm sorry. I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh no.
Become a werewolf.
11. Nope, 9.
Oh, that's
Wait, no. Plus 2, 3. 11.
Ooh.
11.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
It's your
He
turn.
became what he sought to destroy.
We'll find out.
Alright. So I'm just going to snarl back at him and say,
Yeah, that's the spirit.
my turn.
That's the spirit.
Ain't no smell.
Bonus action.
Sure.
Sure.
Channel Divinity, Vow of Enmity.
This is my surprise face.
We're going to swing. As you're all not expecting. 19.
How do you get advantage on that?
A 19 that absolutely hits.
Divine Smite.
Level 4.
Okay.
No.
Ooh. Oh man. Man, I could have like accidentally super annihilated you with this guy. I'll tell you about it later.
26 on the first hit.
Just be happy you're fighting the werewolf and not
You're
what's her name?
Eldith.
Eldith.
26.
Be bad. 26 points of damage. Jesus. Yeah.
That was a level 1 Divine Smite.
it
I
comes
rolled
up-
7s on the
It
smite.
pounces up on you, takes a bite, but you just shove it off and just full swing and just across the chest. You see the flare of the radiant damage flare off the blade, and it's a really good hit. Do you want to make your next attack?
18.
18, that also hits.
Divine Smite.
Level.
1.
You being so responsible.
Dang it, I rolled 2 1s after having 2 2s.
Oh, jeez.
15.
15.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you push the werewolf off of you, and just 2 huge slashes leave it with a nearly cleaved open just upper torso. It's bleeding profusely, but it's coming at you again. It basically is gonna like jump up and attempt to like grapple itself on you. So crap. Remind me of grapple.
Grapple. Strength
Is-
against strength. Acrobatics or athletics.
Or I think the initial grapple is an attack roll,
Oh.
and
Does
then
not say over here. Yeah, it does. Hang on.
don't.
I got it. Grapple.
That's the condition, though.
Yep, doesn't say.
Okay.
Fine.
1 second, please, as I make sure that I attempt to grapple you correctly.
You don't grapple very often.
Right?
That's because
I grappled something once
Because,
and then I died.
It's because that's funny.
The last
It's
guy,
because Nihilist is gone. I haven't had
last
to look
guy
at
that was
grapple
grappling
in a
got
while.
plane shifted away.
Yeah.
Kind of
We
against
learned
it
it's a
at this
bad
point.
idea to
Bad
grapple.
Don't touch enemies. That's how.
Definitely don't hug them.
All right. Well, either way, he's gonna. I'm gonna roll just an attack roll for it initially, and we'll see if it even. Nope. So he jumps up and tries to grab hold with both of his claws, but neither of them find purchase, and it it's still beside you, but barely keeps its feet after missing its like jump up to grab onto you. But it is your turn again.
Okay, so I circle around it, kind of like taunting him, and just say, like, swing my sword once, say, down, and just swing.
Okay.
That's a 20.
That absolutely hits.
5. To hit.
Come on.
I won't even smite him this time. Because I want to pray for a natural 20. Another roll. Give me this. 14 points of damage.
14 points of damage. You say down. The creature, just having recovered from missing its leap up to you, and you cleave the head from its body.
Freaking pup got a bite on me. Ugh,
You're a werewolf now, by the way.
that's aggravating.
Don't worry about it. Just wait.
You seem pretty angry. That's probably the werewolf in you.
All right. You, as you decapitate this creature, you hear a voice in your head again. No, that one was mine. We do not. Just this like kind of upset sigh that you just totally killed beyond saving the creature that was in the arena with you.
Don't worry, you got a replacement coming.
So I did my divine duty in that fight.
Did a divine duty.
You don't put a Paladin Saluni against a werewolf. I mean, come on.
Yeah, honestly, it is.
Literally anything else.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Hey, Salune doesn't hate all werewolves, though.
That's true.
That's a good
Just
thing,
evil
because now you're a
lycanthropes.
werewolf, so
Yep.
it's gonna cause a problem.
All right.
So, being one that pursues werewolves once in a while and having been bitten, do I need to do any sort of check on myself?
So make a medicine check.
Nice! 5!
5.
Quick, suck the neck, the blood out
So-
of your own neck.
So especially right. So as I said, especially without being able to like see
Yeah.
the wound that's on yourself, there's not much that you can tell. I mean, you know it bit you, and you were. I mean, you're a professional monster slaying paladin. You know how lycanthropy is spread. So there certainly exists the risk for contamination from that bite.
So can I use 5 points of lay on hands to cure a disease or neutralize a poison? It doesn't necessarily...
Yeah. I mean,
I'll just.
Yeah.
And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right.
And maybe I'll just dump an extra 5 to top off my hit points.
All right. So, after you exit the arena, you see several Quagoth thralls from nearby, good old little furry green dudes, come and remove the remains of your opponent from the arena. The mind flayer who led you here now looks to Eldith, and you hear in the shared telepathic conversation, says, "Your turn."
Put a hand on her shoulder as she walks past the head. Just say, "You got this."
So Eldith moves to stand in the arena. She similarly is missing her usual like backpack bag of stuff,
Yeah.
but she is also still clad in her usual armor with her customary warhammer and her shield that you all know bears the Feldrin family crest upon it. Not too many more minutes after that, but you'll make it the arena. You see a pretty monstrous sight coming to view from another hall that you suspect leads to another holding area for the servants and the thralls of this community. A large ape-like creature with not 2 but 4 arms strides in the direction of the arena.
It's a good thing you got the hard fight now.
It's a Yeti.
It's not a Yeti.
It's a Machamp.
Yetis don't have
It's a shiny Alolan Machamp.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There we go.
You got it.
We got there.
It's not incorrect.
So rare.
Okay. So,
fighting part fucked up.
all right. You guys gonna help me co-pilot Eldith for this?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Elf casts Disintegrate.
Damn, that was really useful. Why didn't you use that before?
Finger of death.
You see this giant
Right.
gorilla
I
ape
wish not.
creature enter the arena, and near you once again hear the word pass through your mind.
Not that fast.
Begin. All right. So who wants to roll for Eldith in this
Some
fight?
very unfortunate soul
Irish
on the
snaplock.
surface.
Go for it.
All right.
It's really predicated on being above or under the
Initiative
sky.
13.
Still like what we are.
Well,
Natural 2. So Eldith
Yeah,
is in
like I
fact
said,
first
some
in
very
this.
unfortunate soul. You
Alright,
call
guys,
down
don't get
your
Eldith killed.
Elder fight.
Still like that's what
right.
Charge. She doesn't have any spells, right?
No, right.
Only she
She does
But
not have any
She
spells.
also can't get there.
she's, I think, on her first turn, she's going to try and hope that it can't make it to her in one turn. Is going to move here, take out her longbow, and take a shot.
She does not have her longbow on her.
That changes things.
Sorry.
Does she only have a warhammer?
Yeah, she has her melee outfit basically.
She throws her warhammer. Okay.
That seems inefficient, but all right, let's do it.
All
Weird
right.
flex, but okay.
Takes the dodge action and waits right there. Close the gap.
Her movement is
That
25.
She can
Dodge seems.
Yeah, she can't get to him. Yeah, so she's going to take the dodge action.
Okay.
Pull the stool maneuver.
Yeah, it's all she can really
Step
do.
back and dodge.
Throw
Okay.
a stool.
I think she would move up a little bit, so that
Okay, in
she
case.
could, in case he throws something.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
She moves forward, gets in a defensive stance. The creature in front of her charges forward and letting out this howling, screeching, ape-like roar. Sorry, Eldith. You get battle music too. We got you. And it charges straight for her, and it attempts to bite at her. That is cocked.
Alright. No.
Does a 16 hit with the bite?
That matches.
Feel.
That matches. Okay. So this creature, this monstrous creature, comes up, and it's overwhelming. It's the same tactic that General Grievous uses when he's whirling around 4 lightsabers. This creature comes up and is punching with all of its arms, and the last thing she expected when having to defend from that is the fact that it was also going to try and bite her. So it successfully chomps down for 8 points of piercing damage, and then it gets 4 additional attacks.
What?
1 for each arm.
Oh my gosh, you're just trying to kill off our NPCs.
Yeah. It's that time you tricked me.
A 9
Nope.
is not going to hit.
Thank goodness she took the dodge action.
Right. A 21 will hit. A 13 is not enough.
She's fine.
And, oh man, there was a natural 20, but it was disadvantage, obviously. And a 10 is going to miss. So she positions the shield almost perfectly to block all of these, like, giant, just, like, pounding fists that
How much was the bite damage?
bash her. 8 points of piercing damage from the bite.
Okay.
And then it is another 5 points of slashing damage as it rakes across her side with its claw from its attack.
Great, she's at half health. Okay. She takes a short rest. Uses her to die. Well, she's gonna retaliate because she doesn't have much else that she can do here. She can't just dodge it, take the dodge action forever.
Better just hit some natural 20s.
Wow. Natural 19.
Yeah, that absolutely
20.
hits.
Power of
20.
No. And it's only 6 damage.
Let's see if it would have been a 20.
Yeah, the first one's gonna hit though.
Alright, that is...
Schmack.
+2.
It's time for schmacking.
That's right, naturally.
Boom.
5 damage.
5 points of damage, alright.
Is it looking bad?
So it's almost there.
I mean, she gets a good clock to the side of its head, but I mean, it is a good hit, but
Should
it's
we use
still
the
coming.
hammer? Clocks aren't really great for combat.
Wonder if one of these next 5 attacks will hit.
She should have taken the dodge action.
Just perpetually does. Oh god! Oh god! Oh god!
See you.
Something tells me I got the better fight.
Something tells me you have a great sword and spells.
Also that.
And armor.
I'm gonna save you some
I mean,
shit
and
later.
proficiency, having like killed werewolves before.
Yeah.
So the creature, it has a sense for where this fight is going, and it actually just, in a total mocking fashion, just it runs away from her, does a backflip, and moves back towards her.
Attack of
'Cause-
opportunity.
Yeah, she can have an attack.
Yeah. Natural 20.
Oh.
13.
It almost looks like a 20 sideways.
Total?
13 hit.
That hits.
Well,
Aha.
actually, that's an infinity.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's crit.
Ooh. Min damage? I just stopped rolling. 3 damage.
3 damage. Okay.
Brain
Yeah,
damage,
the-
you say.
This creature, it's just playing with her. It can run circles around her.
I should be natural 20
With its
next,
speed.
twice next turn, which makes it...
It's true. But it tries to bite her again. And only rolls a 15.
Hey, misses.
Yeah. And then unleashes a barrage of attacks from each of its arms. Oh man, 2 natural 2s.
Oh.
An 8, which makes for a 14, and then a natural 18. So still only 1 hit.
Dodge action is worthless.
It's going to be another 5 points of slashing damage. It
This
just
dude
whacks
is
it again.
walking action
Why the hell
economy.
were we like...
Uh,
how much was it?
We,
5?
we can
5.
trade. We can upgrade here.
We need him for the fighting against the Gorgon.
Yeah.
The action count here.
He's a walking action
He
economy.
cancels out all of the legendary reactions with his 5 attacks.
All right, Ildith is going to retaliate
Now
as
if
she
we
can.
put
Okay.
a wand in each
You roll.
hand.
Right.
Me?
4 third level magic
plus
missile
five.
blasts.
Zero.
Oh no!
8 total.
Yep.
She gets 2
Miss.
attacks though.
I know. One more attack.
It's
Man,
a
you suck at
9.
this.
Kevin is cursing
It's
our
just
die.
it's just too fast, and neither of the hits land with enough purchase to do any damage.
She's like,
Alright.
can you at least give me a chance here?
Okay, this time around,
If she's alive, I get an extra roll.
we got. Oh man, this is cool. The math is fun here. 3, 10, 17, and 20, all natural numbers. So that is going to be a 16, a 23, and a definite crit.
Okay, so she could die right here.
Could?
So she has to take 8 damage the first time.
She did 8 damage.
Yep,
She's
she
a
She
dead.
takes 7 points of damage.
She's at 1.
The
Pathfinder would be awful.
The second, so I had like the mental order of how all these rolls went down in my head. So the first one was the 16, the second one was the crit, the third one was the 20, whatever. So she definitely falls unconscious from the critical hit. It can't do enough damage to just kill her.
Okay.
But the third attack hits, crits as it's a melee attack within 5 feet. So that's 2 failed
fails.
death saving throws. And Nero, you watch as this latest assault just comes up and just pummels into her. The light leaves her eyes and she just falls unconscious in the arena.
Healing word. She's got 6 seconds to live.
So the creature stops after that, after she goes limp and falls down.
Do I have any idea
Do
what this
you
thing is?
attempt to react? Also, roll a nature check.
Okay. I'm gonna, if I'm able to get in. Oh, now I roll. 18.
So, you've never seen one of these in person, but you've heard stories from other monster hunters you've encountered in your time. This creature is called a Girolon. And yeah, it's just a large, monstrous, ape-like monster.
Gotcha.
Do you move to react?
Yeah, I run to her if possible.
Okay. Yeah, no one moves to stop you as you run up to her.
And I'll get down and put a point of lay on hands in her to see if. Actually, first I guess I'll check if she's alive.
Roll an initiative check.
Oh, she's dead.
6.
That's really it.
11.
She's still alive.
You reach Eldith's unconscious body, lay on hands, and you might as well have just gone like clear and just regains consciousness immediately.
With 1 point of
That was
HP.
super close.
I thought she was insta dead. I didn't react at first because the way you described it, I thought that you had murked her.
No, I mean like I knocked the shit out of her, knocked her unconscious, and she got the double failed death save because the auto crit.
Right. I thought he had one more attack after that, and she was just auto
It was
dead.
the last one missed,
Oh, okay.
Fun.
or the. No, last one still misses.
Okay, because I was gonna say.
I was
thought-
like, wait, so it would have
Yeah,
been an
like-
advantage.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay.
Your nearly unconscious Eldith is just kind of like, I don't know, in mild shock. It's not fun dying.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna like try and get her on her feet, like support her. It's a little odd because she's
Okay.
shorter than me, but I'll try and like support her to walk her out.
So you hear the voice in your head. How disappointing. Ilson Corian always keeps the best ones for himself. Very well. You will make for a fine laborer, I suppose.
Not so bad.
Mm-hmm.
So bad. We don't need to
Now-
rescue her.
Back to your cells. Yormik,
Whew. I'm not dead. Maybe.
you awaken and immediately find that you are restrained. Tied down on some sort of flat surface.
Don't mind that, do you?
You barely have time to like begin attempting to take in your surroundings when the tentacled face of a mind flayer comes into view, standing over top of you. Basically, it's like you're laying horizontal and it's
Yep.
standing and like looking down at you.
Yep. Okay. Am I on the? Does it look like I'm on the ground at all?
I mean, so even your head is restrained, so you're not sure what kind of surface you're on. But
Got it,
But from
okay.
what you can see of its torso, which is like right behind you, you suspect you're on, I don't know, something of like
Table.
some kind of table.
Okay.
or
Okay.
something
Cool.
like
Yeah, that's
that.
what I was curious.
Yeah.
This is
fine.
gonna be blessed.
Okay.
What do we interested?
You say anything?
I'd like to be let go now, please.
Well, I'm afraid we cannot do that.
Am I needed for another speaking engagement, or why are you keeping me here?
You are here for examination. We have detected some anomalous patterns from your mind.
It's not surprising. It's confused even the strongest.
I see. Well, I am Sycorax. I am the prime researcher here at Cyrog Colony. So do tell me about yourself.
Well, I have to ask you before we begin here. What percentage of your research subjects ends up alive at the end and able to view the published documents? Because there's some
Glad you said you would not.
there's some legal disclaimers I have if you intend to kill me.
I suppose it depends on what sort of research we're doing. We do not have, at least at my present awareness, any intention of ending your existence. Most creatures like yourself tend to perform excellently as servants here in the colony.
Interesting. That sounds fantastic. Well,
Yeah, he just like it's like this like telepathic shrug, just like I don't know. It cocks his head at you a little bit weirdly.
I don't know anything about these creatures, so I'm sure it can't tell that I'm lying. Well, as you see, I was brought up in the life of luxury in Gracklestew, perhaps the greatest city that's ever been created. My family, the Brewmantles.
You hear what passes for like under the breath, at least as far as mental communication is observed, as you see that it has like a bound leather parchment notebook that is taking notes. And you just hear very quietly, just seems to lie as easily as breathing.
I mean, so to abbreviate my story, I was brought up as the finest ale maker in the city. Life, women, riches, anything that I desired until this group of companions led me to a life of adventure. Many beings have claim on my family's soul, and any of us who are killed the killers are banished from the plane. So whoever kills us, them and their family line is banished from the plane of existence.
Please roll a deception check at
Extreme disadvantage.
actually. So no. After you finish that veiled threat of a statement,
Sure.
you feel this pressure in your it's the only way that I can think to describe it.
Yep.
Like on your mind, and I mean it's a mind flare. It hits you
Yep.
very quickly that this creature is attempting to delve into your thoughts. So please make a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage.
Okay. Wow, 15 and 16, so 15.
You cannot begin to.
I'll have you as I assuming that I'm not incapacitated during this. I'm assuming the thoughts are impenetrable to even the highest of the deities.
Okay, now make a deception check at disadvantage because that's some nonsense.
Cocked. Deception check.
Wait, what?
17.
What's this?
That's a 10.
Oh, that was a 20.
That
That
was
would be
good
great.
because I thought you were 19 and a 20.
How much?
17.
17.
I beat his passive insight, guys.
Truly fascinating. You just fabricate truths as easily as you speak.
If you mean to say that everything I say is true, then I agree.
Yeah.
What would you... Perhaps I can be more specific. What would you like to learn about my past? There's many exciting stories.
Everything.
Well... So, everything, or, I...
Tell me of your companions who you traveled here with.
Oh, yes. I've known them for what feels like a lifetime. They brought me into a new life that I have enjoyed thoroughly. I have seen sights never seen before. They've made me richer than I've ever been before. Perhaps more popular. Taking on a leadership role has been quite exciting. I've faced down giants, floating eyes. We've beaten down things much taller and uglier than what are you called?
My dear lad, I am an illithid.
Oh yes, okay. We have another. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, we've beaten down things, seen alive plants. I saw
Seen plants?
alive plants.
Oh, alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's most plants.
And we encountered this yellow stuff that glowed at one point that they thought was frightening, called the phase pus, and it was. They seemed to be bothered by it, but I was stronger than them, as has proven true throughout our journey. We've traveled. I'm on my way to take over the top side and bring its riches back to Gracklestug so that we might be an even more powerful city. If you have use for anything, I have a list of items to get and can add yours. As long as I am left mostly unharmed and alive. If there's any... I think that about covers up to this point.
Oh god.
Is there anything else?
Oh my god.
You truly have a remarkable mind.
Mm-hmm. This recap video is going to be great.
The Yormik hosted recap video.
There'd be 2 recap videos.
Yeah.
One of them goes clear view, one makes it back.
Oh god, that's an amazing
Yeah,
idea.
but what about the other one?
So, Sycorax says to you, so how did you come to travel with these companions of yours?
So they were trying for a long time to kill a dragon, which is an easy thing for me to do, and I helped them kill a dragon. Then they wanted to steal the servant of a bigger dragon, and I was implicated in the thieving of said servant, so I had to leave the city in order to not bring shame to my family, which is very well respected. And we've kind of been moving ever since then. I think they're trying to get back topside, as far as I can tell.
Your line between fiction and reality is astoundingly non-existent.
I have a talent for making reality whatever I want it to be.
I did notice your gauntlet above your belongings.
Just
You're missing some stones though. At least you don't have that stone,
Right.
You are truly a fascinating one. Your Iron Hand.
What name was that?
Is that not your name? Oh, your Brewmantle facade. I see.
It's tough to keep track at this point. At times it feels more like I'm a brewmantle than an iron hand, but it depends on the day. It's a more somber subject, as I'm sure you're aware, with your...
Indeed. Make another wisdom saving
Is it the same feeling?
throw. Yes.
Okay. Do you
Similar
want disadvantage again, or is he not
No.
frazzled? 10.
10.
Got it.
It's fine.
What are these? Tell me about the gray ghosts.
Well, they're not the most upstanding citizens, but they knew how to survive when I didn't. Turns out they betrayed me just like everyone else had.
That betrayal. I feel it. It cut you to your core. You have a remarkably deep desire. I'd say even a longing, even just to belong to something.
You could say that.
I wonder then how deep this desire runs. You see it like just massaging his like tentacle chin.
You haven't heard of the Society of Brilliance before, have you?
The Society of Brilliance.
They offered me a membership, but I turned them down. Anyway.
Make a deception check.
12. That's bad.
Did they now? Interesting.
I'm always looking for a place to improve myself, as deems appropriate.
Well, there is no better place for true community than here in Cyrog Colony. How would you feel about undergoing seromorphosis?
Is that, so it's been a while since I've had to consult my limitless supply of vocabulary. Can you refresh me on what seromorphosis is?
Seromorphosis? Why, yes, that is the means through which we Illithids populate.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Is it similar to how the Durgar repopulate?
Oh, no. Nothing so crude.
Well,
You simply receive a hatched tadpole through a nostril or an ear canal, whatever is easiest. It takes root, and before you know it, you could be a mind flayer of this colony.
could be.
It isn't. It doesn't always take.
Could I perhaps belong as an illithid in spirit? Like a hypothetical tadpole, if you will.
Very well. I mean, you would remain in the colony as simply a thrall, I suppose. A manual laborer of some sort, perhaps. Or
Sounds significantly worse. What?
but no, don't feel like I'm making you. I'm
Well,
simply making an offer.
so what are? It seems like we're reaching an end to conversation here, and since I can't move, I think that means there's some options for me at this point. Can you outline those options as if making a job offer?
I told you I'm simply here to examine your mind. It's,
Interesting.
simply speaking, one of a kind.
I agree. Okay, so any other questions you have about my mind, as interesting as it is? What do I have on me, by the way?
So you are not wearing your gauntlet.
Okay.
No Infinity Stone. You can't. Like, I mean, you're still clothed, but I mean, like being
Sure.
restrained like this, you can't really tell exactly. I mean, you're clearly not wearing like whatever like backpack or bag you would customarily have had.
What is binding my arms, legs, and head? Is it metal or leather?
It is leather.
Okay, good to know. Interesting. What do you plan? Do I get some food while I lay on the table and think about it, or do I just have to be hungry because I don't do my best thinking while I'm hungry?
Oh no. I apologize. I certainly did not mean to cause you any discomfort.
Of course. This is my favorite position to be laying in. Perhaps the restraint's really necessary.
I am afraid it is a necessary precaution.
Okay.
But alas, I will go and have something sent up to you. You hear Cigarettes before exiting the room through a door that you hear open and closed. You hear Cigarettes say, Drukt, do keep our guest company, please. Oh, thank you. And Cigarettes exits the room.
The idea was good.
Bryn,
I think you saw. Yeah.
go ahead and make a performance check.
I do have some lines written.
Oh, nice.
Identifies new.
Yeah. Yeah, so go ahead and enlighten us. What kind of song does Bryn Stormwind sing to an elder brain?
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yes.
That would have been. Yeah. Okay. Well, working with partial knowledge here.
They form all the knowledge all the time.
As lessers fall and brains cry out, when the master's call doth cast about, the hive will rule, and the master's mercy seems so cruel. For pleasure's sake and pleasure's song do illithids come along, band together and unite as one, Ulithid Ilsen's victory is done.
Roll a performance check with advantage.
Yeah.
I was like,
That
I
was
was like,
really
man,
good.
that's gonna be so brutal if you're just like roll a performance check. That was awful.
With disadvantage.
Ooh,
Oh, no,
that
it's-
was terrible.
Oh man, they hated it.
18.
Yeah, real bad. Man.
Real bad,
Wow.
like for you, by your standards.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I mean, a 7 on advantage is kind of sad to see.
18.
You hear the deep voice boom through your mind again. Splendid. Doing great.
So am I massaging a brain?
You are.
Okay.
Before you,
I was thinking this was the Ulitharid.
no.
Hence,
So-
hence the line.
Gotcha. It was the other. Yeah, that's okay. I am sure that Ilsen Corian would be very fond of your lyrics.
Do you have what title do you go by?
I am Cyrog.
Cyrog.
Cyrog. This is my colony.
And what do I refer to as? Master Cyrog?
Either would suffice.
What do you do you do?
So,
Is he a chatty type?
he's a little more talkative than you would expect. Make an insight check for me real quick.
For a brain.
I'm great at these. Ooh, wow, we are all rolling really well tonight.
That seems
insight
sarcastic.
is 3.
3. So you massage, like after you finish your song, you go back to once again massaging this enormous brain. It's a large creature size category. So his brain is bigger than you are by a decent margin. You make a dexterity check for me too.
I'm better at these. Ooh, 8.
8. Not your finest work, but
Have yet to roll above a 7.
jeez. But no, you massage the brain in the various crevices and folds, and this was your idea, your own idea. The just urge to do this. This is what you.
So I would also like know exactly where to massage it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, go figure. It's basically an implanted thought impulse, whatever.
Mhm.
And so he's making sure you serve him while you're here.
Just
Absolutely.
up to the left.
Um,
Right there.
But no, he is reasonably talkative. You know from, I mean, you've been doing this for quite a few hours at this point, like the better part of a day. Safe to say you're becoming familiar with one another. And no, he hasn't, up to this point, had any outbursts or voiced any real displeasure with you. And yeah, I mean, you haven't asked him basically any questions yet outside of like, how do I refer to you?
Mm-hmm.
But he hasn't declined to answer anything you've asked him. Also, I keep saying him. They don't have a
Yeah.
gender. I keep whatever.
Yeah.
Brain doesn't.
The brain doesn't have a gender.
It's like a mushroom.
What the heck? You're talking about it's clearly a she.
I mean, that's
It's
a lot,
okay
That's a lot
when
of
it's with a
penises.
she
I don't know.
brain. It's a lot of what?
Penises. Look at them all. Like, at least
Maybe
10.
in Japan.
So what's your goal? What's your purpose? Why are you here?
Because I'm bored, okay?
Take care, Bryn Stormwind. You nearly speak out of turn.
I apologize. I apologize, Master.
But your efforts in my service are not to be unrewarded. I will acquiesce to your request. You may ask me 5 questions. What is my goal? What is the goal of any great creature? I rule over this colony. Under my leadership, it has grown from a small collective of a few illithids into my dynasty. There are hundreds of illithids here, and more that roam the Underdark in my name. That's one.
That's interesting. We've been in the Underdark for some time now and have only seen one other illithid, and he didn't seem to serve a master.
That wasn't a question.
I just look into the brain folds and smile, smirk. Yeah. Where are those that were with me?
They are about in the colony in various locations and circumstances. Your
Gesundheit.
dear friend Nero has become Ilsen Corian's personal warrior in the arena. He volunteers no further information
I'm
about that question.
yes. I'm sure Nero will make Ilsen quite proud. He's a valiant fighter.
He corrects you. Ilsen Corian.
Ilsen Corian.
ILSEN. And then like Corian, like the countertop, like CORIAN.
Was one vowel off.
A for effort.
Ilsen, not Ilsun.
Close. Kevin's fault.
It is his fault.
Didn't enunciate. That nice, Kevin. I don't want to die.
Get back up.
Don't tempt me, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Are you concerned about the Demogorgon?
You feel what you know must be some a more emotional telepathic response than his other more cool, collected responses.
We got a follower.
Yo, thanks for the follow.
That took our entire party being sacrificed to elephants.
Worth it.
Yeah. Anyway.
The Demogorgon is a brute monster who has no power in this, my colony. He would be stopped before he could get anywhere near.
All right.
Make an insight check. This one is
big talk for
not
something with
contesting the implant of an
12.
idea. 12. So
You feel like you really get a grasp what how his head works.
you really
You see into his mind.
That's really good. It like took me a second to just fully register. A plus. Also, don't forget, I wasn't joking when I gave you DM inspiration for taking that technical screen off my hands, and that pun was super low key fantastic. You also get DM inspiration.
one. It's been a while. 39 sessions in.
So it seemed like obviously you don't have a perfect read on it. It's not like it has expressions in the way a humanoid creature generally would, but a tinge of both pride and defensiveness in that response.
Yeah, that's fine. After
Actually,
that last
before you move on to your next question or whatever you're going to say, he follows up with one more comment after a short pause, and says that this one much more cool again, having regained his composure, and besides that beast's presence in my Underdark is the least of my worries. Is among the least of my worries. Clearly there's other stuff that's like way less problematic than that.
Like arthritis.
For a brain.
what else is giving you headaches?
No, like Alzheimer's. That's a serious thing.
Your pun is noted and is not appreciated.
Take note of that.
Those who have this material.
I have expended a great deal of effort in a fruitless venture. You have one question remaining.
I think I'll hold on to it.
Ooh.
Very well. Play me another song. Vera,
No.
you
The horror tunnels.
have been wandering through this bizarre, nonsensical hall labyrinth for, at this point, what feels like days. There's no reasonable means of you tracking time. There's no light. The creature that pursued you has made a few more appearances when you slow down
Okay.
from your full run, which you obviously need to catch your breath occasionally. And it seems to always be at your heels when you slow. Not sure of what else to do, you continue moving and thinking, heart beating rapidly the whole time. Surely there must be some escape. You just have to first figure out what this is. Make an intelligence check.
I've been wondering if this is a dream for a while. 19.
19. So, in your musing of your circumstances, there is a spell that you know of that comes to mind, and but this can't be that. You know that there's no way that the maze spell would still be maintained if that is where you were trapped. But at the same time, you find yourself in this impossible labyrinth. Make a perception check.
No natural one this time.
Hey, Kevin.
Oh no.
Yeah. Do you want to take a break for a second? Yeah.
Looks like we already are.
Yeah.
We go down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just real quick. Everybody get off the Wi-Fi.
That's weird though, because we're hardlined in.
Yeah, but still bandwidth.
Bandwidth is bandwidth. It's not free real estate.
All right.
I'm sure that
Yeah, no, I mean, if you guys have the stream on, just don't.
yeah,
Yes.
I didn't have it on. I was checking out it.
One moment the illithids blocked our internet. Well played. All right. I think we're back up.
Okay.
Cool. Sorry about that. There was a non-detection field over our Wi-Fi, apparently.
We dispelled it, don't worry.
Sorry. And to answer Roland's question, around the table, we have Caleb playing Bryn Stormwind, the bard.
That's your name?
We have Jordan playing Yormik, the sorcerer.
Iron Brew Mantle Hand.
Mantle hand.
Meme Master Extraordinaire, sometimes goes by Jorfden.
Usually.
Stefan playing Vera, the gnome wizard. And Lenny playing Nero, the elf paladin. Well played. I can't wink well. I have to scrunch my face
I
to
can
do
wink
it.
both
I
eyes.
practice that.
I also can't just close my right eye independently of my other eye. I can only close this one by itself.
I can rapid fire
It's
wink
weird.
alternating eyes.
No, Yessie can do the whole dancing eyebrows crazy.
I can't do that,
nonsense.
but I
It's
can
pretty
alternate winks.
cool. But Vera, you had just rolled an intelligence check.
Mm-hmm.
Was
it 19?
It was a 19. Yes. That your circumstances made a particular spell come to mind, but you are studied enough to know that can't be what this is. And then, sorry, I had you roll a perception check too.
15.
A 15.
That's the perception.
So the tunnel that you're walking down,
Running, sprinting.
that you're running down, it's identical. Like you occasionally hit random intersections, occasional just dead ends, but for the most part, at the edge of your dark vision, always past this, the end of your vision in this tunnel is just darkness.
Mm-hmm.
So it throws you off as you moving rapidly down this tunnel when some of the darkness moves out of the edge of your vision, and you realize that there is the silhouette of a figure in front of you.
Okay.
Do you approach? Do you turn tail?
So, are there any other paths? Or just the one forward
Not
back?
current. Currently, there's not any other intersections in sight. If you backtracked, you would come to one after a bit,
Okay.
or not. You know.
And what was the question? Is the hallway 5 feet wide? Effectively, is it skinny hallway? Or is
It's about 10 feet wide, so it's sort of like the roundedness makes like the rounded aspect of it makes it a bit wider than 5 feet, but like the flat floor portion it is around 5 feet wide.
So I can't really get past it.
I mean, you're small. You could try.
All right, I'm gonna try to do that. So as far as I can tell, the one behind me is the other thing. I don't like that thing, so I'm gonna keep going forward away from it.
Okay.
And do what?
I liked where you were going with that.
And I doubt I was going where I think you're going. Thought I was going to be going. As I run past it, I'm gonna try and sort of in my head, like I don't know if this will work, but I'm gonna try and disbelieve that it's there, and just believe that it's not, that it can and won't hit me.
So
Yeah.
okay, and then are you like running to it, or just dead sprint? And you're just gonna try
It's
and
fine.
I'm running.
disbelieve it and run past it.
I'm gonna wait till it's within 30 feet of me, so I can at least see what it is.
Okay.
And then once I see it, I'm gonna go.
So you slow to approach it then?
No, I keep running dead sprint,
Oh, okay. Keep running dead sprint. All right.
or as fast as I can, because I'm probably exhausted.
Sure.
Poor choice of words, but yeah.
So
Yeah.
you run towards this figure. Do you like duck to a side of the tunnel, or?
Yeah, I try to intend to move around it.
Okay. So as you approach it, it seems to get a little bigger, and it mirrors your like juke to the side. And as you get about 30 feet away from it, you realize that it's
A
you.
mirror. Is it me or is it a mirror?
It appears to be you. Make a perception check.
13.
It's like it looks like a carbon copy of you sprinting at you.
Okay, I'm going to. Do I hear anything behind me?
Make a perception check for that.
19.
19. The only thing you hear your own sloshing footsteps and your own heavy breathing, but nothing else catches your ear.
Okay. I'm gonna move up to this thing. What, me or otherwise?
Okay. You just like
Very
sprinting at it, or
I'm gonna slow down and cautiously approach it.
okay. You
Approach me.
You right. You slow down back to a walking pace, catching your breath. The Vera that you see does the same. As you slow and approach it, you realize that you are standing in front of a mirror. But that Vera is you, but it's not quite you here now. You recognize a younger self in the face of this person.
Younger me. What the fuck? cast Detect Magic.
Okay. You cast Detect Magic, and the mirror in front of you doesn't seem to glow strangely.
Okay, other than age, is there any difference between me and the mirror me?
Seems to be similarly equipped, similarly clothed.
I'm gonna try and touch it. The reflection.
That's my.
Okay.
Meet hands, which would mean I guess I'm touching my own hand. I don't know.
Sure. Self 5.
Be great.
Yeah, you touch
Turn
it,
it
and nothing particularly out of the ordinary seems to happen.
Check
Your hand touches cool glass.
Does my sash head have ripped pieces of cloth off of it?
In the mirror, do you?
Both. Me
Uh,
and
Yours remains torn. The pieces you cut off are still off. The reflections are not.
I don't suppose you can speak different than I can? You just mimic me.
Yeah, I mean, you see
My
it
mouth
behave as a
moving?
as a reflection would. You stand there stumped for a minute, and then the reflection suddenly gets an alarmed look on its face and points past you.
I go. I look.
So you turn and see several small creatures crawling along the wall and ceiling and floor of the tunnel. They are small creatures with pinkish torsos and 4 legs, and they are crawling their way towards you now.
How quickly?
Too many notes.
Oh.
Too many notes.
Oh no.
Too many
Yeah,
notes,
I know
too
what these are too.
Imperial. I think that was Imperial.
No. Oh no. Ooh.
No, roll an Arcana check.
15.
15. So you would recognize these creatures. They are intellect devourers.
Mm-hmm.
Illithids, aka mind flayers, tend to utilize them for like security kind of scouts. They're sort of like an underling in Illithid society.
Right.
That they're not proper Illithids, but they are
Okay.
related.
I'm gonna do a quick investigation check in the mirror if I can to see if there's like and try pushing on it on the edges of it. See if there's anything I can do with it.
Sure. Yeah. No. Roll investigation.
Or
Some
12.
freaking day, this dude's gonna roll over single
What was it?
digits.
12.
12. So you feel at the glass, and I mean it feels like solid, cool glass. But at this point, your reflection is not attached to you. And as the creatures bear down on you from behind, your reflection gestures to the amulet. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, what about it? It's not going to do me all that much good here. Doesn't make any more motions.
I mean, so this is happening somewhat bang bang. So like
Okay.
points, you see him approaching, turn back, and you're feeling for a thing, and then it's just like
Okay, I'll try and activate it. like right now, and see if I can face through the wall. Try to push through the wall.
Okay.
So I know it makes me sort of like incorporeal, sort of. Well, not sort of briefly. Not exactly. That's actually what it does, but that's the best I can guess right now. I'm gonna try to do that.
You press it and activate it the way that you know how, and it makes the mirror. After you do that, it shimmers differently, almost as if it isn't solid.
Well, I was like, as I was activating it, I was trying to push through it before I even activated it.
Okay.
Because it only is active for a split second.
Okay.
So it's gonna make every use of like a tree stride.
So yeah, you the activation of the amulet triggers, and your hand on this solid pane of mirrored glass suddenly just like starts to melt through to the other side. You push through, and almost you sort of break through this rubbery, non-Newtonian fluid kind of surface on the other side. And when you break through, you find yourself in a hallway riddled with oddly shaped mirrors all around in the tunnel. So the hexagonal shape is gone, and now you have this rough circular hall. You're standing on mirrors. There are mirrors all around you in odd shapes, jutting out at weird angles, so that all the reflections of you are distorted in different ways.
It's a fun house.
Yeah.
Fun. The opposite of that, though.
Right. Make a perception check.
I don't know if I. 15.
15. All right. So you still hear
I think only 10's a lot, actually.
you hear the pitter patter of sweet little intellect devourer footsteps
You look behind me. I want to see.
behind you. Yes. And you look behind you, and you watch as these creatures just sprint headlong into the mirror, and the glass shatters.
I was going to try that. Shit! That's the next thing I'm going to try. Just break it.
Yeah. So they just busted through after you.
I want to be not near them.
Okay. So you notice when the glass breaks too. Obviously, it sort of shatters your view through the mirror back into the hall that you came from. When the glass shatters, the hall that is opposite this broken glass is more mirrored hallway in the other direction.
It's more mirrored. Oh, just like this one.
Yeah, it's not the slimy ooze tunnel that you just came out of anymore.
Oh, fuck, great. This whole place makes so much fucking sense. It's so great. Are these hallways bigger than the other hallways they've been in? Or about the same size? Just mirrored.
They're a little bigger, maybe like 10 feet, but the floor is no longer flat here. But yeah, it's about 15 feet in diameter, and it's like jaggedly round, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Without being sharp, but just like yeah.
All right. I'm gonna move down the hallway a little. I'm gonna move away from the intellect devourers down the hallway.
Okay.
Forward.
So the intellect devourers are faster than you.
I cast fly to move faster.
Okay. Touche, salesman. Touche.
I am not letting them get close to me.
You cast fly on yourself and just take off down this hallway.
Nope. No, thank you. Goodbye.
And you
Rain check.
zoom off away from the intellect devourers.
Oh, this is so much better than running.
York.
Yeah.
Your ditty.
Don't worry, I'm just looking up a spell real quick. Okay, yeah, I'm here. It's fine.
Okay.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep my notes straight.
So am I on the stone tablet again? Or the, whatever it is?
You are in the same position as before.
So as a note, I would like to spend 1 sorcery point to give myself resistance to fire damage for an hour.
Okay.
Just want that to be noted.
That definitely will come into play.
No,
Just no
probably
plans
not.
here.
Oh, I love Tormix.
Making some contingency plans.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Now I get it.
So it's been a while since Sycorax left to go seek nourishment for you. They returned after a while and continued interrogating isn't the right word. Questioning
Probing.
you, probing you, getting to know
Interview.
the real fake Yormik that is Yormik Brew Iron Hand Mantle.
There it is.
Real fake
Head,
doors.
shoulders,
Come on down.
knees and toes.
But you, that goes on for, I mean, what seems like hours, but we all know that you have no problem talking for hours.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
This is pretty much like your jam.
Okay, so my resistance is gone.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But no, so presuming you did it when
When I needed
they
to.
were out of. No, I'm saying that you did it when they were out of the room to have it ready when they came back. But yeah, I mean they feed you. Your head still doesn't move, but they like mage hand spoon feed you. Make a how do you make a flavor down check? No, I'm just kidding.
Nice.
What kind of check would it be to see if you like recognize what you're eating?
Survival?
Yeah, I dig it.
That's an 18.
Or
An
close,
18.
You get to know.
It's an 18.
Yeah. So you're served this somewhat rubbery,
No.
the somewhat rubbery meat that it reminds you of several of the reptiles and fish you've eaten out of the Dark Lake in your time.
Oh, I'm eating a...
Though, of course, only after they were purified, because
Of course.
eating other stuff out of the Dark Lake's really bad for your health. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah. So, is this the thing that I rode in on?
You know, I didn't even think to ask.
That's a good answer.
Interesting. Just so that I know. Because talking in front of too many people makes me nervous. How many observers are there in this room around me?
Oh, there are just myself and Druct here to listen to you.
Interesting. So, thank you for the food. I would like
You're
to...
very welcome.
Yes, and so are you. So, you know more about me than I do, I think, at this point. Is that safe to say?
That seems like a reasonable assertion, yes.
So, what do we do now?
I am afraid I don't know what you mean.
So,
Do you wish to stop our examination, the time here, and pursue other duties in the colony?
no, I assumed you were quite finished if you know more about me than I do, unless there's something else you're looking for.
Knows more about you than you do.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, I fail to see what your hurry is. I
a
can't
good point.
imagine the manual labor would be much more entertaining than this.
Well, that's very
the
fair.
food is probably not half as good.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay. In that case, please take your time.
Very well. Have you given any further thoughts to the Ceramorphosis?
I have thought about it, yes.
Hi, Theo.
I would say that I don't have much of a penchant for pain, and it sounds quite uncomfortable.
Oh, the discomfort will pass in a few days.
A few days. So, if I were to become like you, but better, would I retain? Would I retain my current abilities, or would I give up myself?
Oh no, an illithid retains very little of their previous self. Sometimes it will be short flashes of memory, or perhaps even a quirk of personality, but otherwise you become better.
Well, And what of my companions? Are they also being given the same option?
Oh, not that I'm aware of. I wasn't even particularly instructed to offer it to you. It's just...
It's understandable. Could an audience be arranged with them, perhaps, before the transformation was to take place, just so that they could... They have this thing where they try to worship me in this form, and I don't want them to think that it's gone missing forever.
Yeah.
I want them to understand the choice that I'm making.
Oh, your form would be lost forever during the transition.
Okay.
At least your current form.
Right. So if I was crazy and decided I didn't want to transform into an illithid, which are very popular throughout the rest of the Underdark, I would be a slave doing what exactly?
Oh, that isn't up to me. That is not my business. I'm simply a researcher.
What happened to the last person who said they didn't want to be a slave? Or who said they didn't want to be a mind person?
I would presume they still reside here in the colony.
And they just, like, dig for stuff? Or what are you guys after with these slaves?
What does any society do with slaves?
Oh, that's what I was afraid of. I'm very aware of what society do with slaves. I'm not interested in that, so... Okay.
As you sigh in your indecision, you hear more footsteps approach and enter the room from the same direction that you heard Cyrog's exit earlier. It comes into view much sooner, as it is this particular mind flayer is quite a bit taller than Cyrog's.
Dude is my boss.
You hear a very commanding voice in your mind. Sycorax, leave me to converse with this one. I have sensed your intrigue and amusement in your examination of his mind, and I wish to experience it myself.
And your name is...
I am Ilsin Corian, the Ulitharid of this colony.
Is that with 2 O's or a U?
A U.
Have you considered calling it the Alpha Litharid?
Rebranding everywhere he goes.
I'm not sure how old the title is, but...
Drukt, you leave as well. That one is almost ready.
Drukt, who's the other one?
You see another mind flayer sort of pass through the edge of your vision as you can move your head a little bit, but like you barely make out the rest of the room in your periphery. But you see Sycorax and who you presume to be Druck both exiting through the door.
Wait. Okay. So who's the other one? Did he come with us or no? Or she? We have both.
We have both. The other illithid in the room with you was Drucked.
Right. No, you said the other was almost ready, assuming that meant not him. I'm going real quick, so tell me if I need to slow down.
You get this like again for like the third time this session, just like the slightest like little like head tilt, just like confused and amused and at your behavior. Sorry.
Nope, you're
Please
fine.
rephrase what you asked again.
Who are they going to visit in the other room?
What other room?
You said the other one's almost ready.
Yes, the other one that Drucht has been preparing
Preparing for...
for the Great One.
Okay, so great one. You don't mean me. So, who is that?
The Great One is Cyrog, of course.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, forgot about him. Sorry, I think.
This is very on brand.
So you're curious about my life story, or what do you want to know?
I want many things, but only one from you.
Okay.
You and your companions you arrived here with came at a unique moment. Feel free to speak freely after what I am about to say to you.
Mm-hmm.
I possess the ability to shield your thoughts from Cyrog's vision. Cyrog is dying. As the Ulitharid of this colony, leadership of it is my right upon his death. However, in his desperate attempt to stave off his quite inevitable demise, he has been squandering many valuable resources of the colony in an inane attempt to find some cure or life-saving remedy. There is none, and the illithids he has dispatched to seek it are on a fool's errand. However, you and your companions seem quite bonded to one another. It is also apparent that you possess a substantial amount of power between yourselves. This colony will be mine, but Cyrog's death is taking too long. He will ruin this colony before he goes, if he is allowed to live. My offer to you is quite simple. Assist me in slaying him, and I will permit your traveling group to exit the colony and my domain.
This guy seems pretty trustworthy, I think.
Can I insight that?
You can certainly try.
You're so good at this. Natural 20.
Oh, nope, doesn't matter. 7.
Ooh,
7.
We know so many things about
The-
what he's feeling.
The face of this Lutherid is, I mean, it's expressionless. It's got its tentacles, and the words that he's saying to you are very even keel, even tone. You don't have a particular reason to either trust or assume that they're lying to you.
Can't kill my brain cat, dude.
Assist me, and you may leave here brains intact.
And in skulls.
The other option then is to have them be not intact and remain here, I'm guessing.
Should you elect to refuse, you feel for the first time the strap that restrains your head is released. And so for the first time that you've been laying on this table, you can look around.
I'm looking. Oh, I know what I'm going to see somewhere. I'm not having that.
So you find yourself in a strange-looking laboratory. There are many large jars
Of Jim.
Yeah, it's on autofocus. It tries to figure itself out, but it's weird because the wall ends and they sit close. It's fine.
Hello.
Sorry, there's a dog over here.
Huh?
Through the top two.
That's us.
So we're good.
In other one fine as hell.
So yeah, you look around you. You're in a laboratory. There are large jars filled with strange-looking fluids, like what you would see in like when you do like a lab practical in the biology classes,
Formaldehyde.
and some sort of fluid like that. And many of the large jars that you see hold within them brains that are being preserved. There are other instruments in the room with you, but the most notable sight is immediately to your right, laying unconscious and on her back, sweating profusely,
Definitely not.
is the unconscious body of Vera.
Man, I had a plan that would have killed you earlier. Yikes. Okay.
I can't resist elements on myself. So
Right. Oh no.
That was fine?
Okay, I don't have a plan anymore. That's fine. So,
Yeah, Yormik still might.
how big is this room?
I'm in a sauna. I'm not actually, worried. when I think
This
about it.
room is probably maybe like
One fireball.
35 to 40 feet in diameter. A fireball would fill most of it,
Yep.
if you were so inclined.
Okay. Well, I think I can speak for my group. Am I shielded, or do you have to hold your hand over my head, or how does it work?
While I am in your proximity here, you are shielded from Cyrog's sight.
So, Cyrog is one of you, the Mind Eaters, Slayers people?
You know nothing, Yormik Brunette.
That's...
I'm just kidding.
yeah, that's...
Cyrog
Well, yes, but actually...
is the elder brain of this colony.
So we have to kill Brain?
Oh god, I didn't think about the fact that you just like wouldn't grasp what the fuck this was.
No, Bryn's doing that.
That's amazing. Right? Ah. You're
not-
literally grasping what the fuck this
Literally
is.
the same joke.
Slightly different.
I'm not
It's
trying to be
mostly the
over the
same.
top,
Mostly
but I
the
feel
same.
like it's a valid question.
An elder brain is an amalgamation of many illithid brains. When an illithid dies, its brain is preserved and becomes a part of the elder brain. It is the consciousness that binds and wills this colony.
So just walk in, we blow it up, and then we get to leave. Is that the deal?
It is unfortunately not quite that simple.
Yeah.
You won't stand, or should I say, we would not stand a chance with the other illithids of the colony responding to the danger that Cyrog would be in. We require a distraction. Something that, from what little I know of you, you seem fully capable of inducing.
And so, how many of my thoughts can you read exactly?
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Well, you asked for it.
That's an 8. That's an 8.
You feel that pressure on your brain, and it is just very clear to you that
Yep.
he is in your mind.
So he sees the Sherlock Holmes version of my plan, where I set a spell Fireball after giving myself resistance, casting invisibility, and running out of the room. I think I can be of assistance in creating a distraction.
I thought as much.
Yeah.
You know, it goes
But-
perfectly.
Right. I mean, obviously.
And you just like waltz out of the
Yeah.
fucking encampment.
Right.
But timing is of utmost importance here. Tomorrow, your companion, my new warrior, is set to be in his first official bout in the arena. Your other companion here is currently slated to be a fine dinner for Cyrog.
Great.
It will be
Big brain.
some time yet before she is ready, as her stubbornness
I'm
and
sorry.
resourcefulness are preventing the process from completing as quickly as Drukt might be accustomed to. Tomorrow, I will ensure that Vera here is brought to Cyrog. At the same time, the majority of the colony will gather to witness the first bout of my new champion warrior. I am going to send you to stay with them in the thrall holding cells. It will be up to you at that moment when the fight is set to start to create a diversion. You will need that diversion to be a good one, as you will have a matter of minutes to escape to the resting pool of Cyrog. I have already arranged it so that your musically inclined companion is at his side.
It's me, right?
Your own
Definitely.
conscience. Right by them.
Yeah.
I just assume everyone's me.
This is the song that. Let me sing you the song of my people. There's fucking internet devourers everywhere. You would do well to share your intentions with your allies. The mental hold on you, as you might have realized at this point, is not weak, but also requires a certain amount of concentration to penetrate beyond your surface thoughts. I advise you be discreet in your sharing of details.
I'm very good at that.
You also feel your pocket move a little bit.
Yes. I was going to ask for stuff.
If nothing else, these will serve as a suitable enough distraction, but feel free to embellish.
I can't move my hands. What did you put in my pocket?
You will find out soon enough. Do you agree to my terms?
Does she have to be unconscious for this whole thing to go on? It seems like everybody else at least gets their own shot.
The facade must remain until the time is right.
She's really good at
Cyrog
faking it.
is not.
Sorry, that was terrible.
Cyrog is no fool.
He believed a lot of what I said. Okay, fine. I understand. I speak for my group as always, and we accept your bargain. Oh, yeah, it's fine. Yeah. We will aid you in killing the brain, and then you will help us kill the large demon monkey that is trouncing around the Underdark. Eventually, if called upon, of course. She did tell you
I have
about
agreed
that.
to no such term.
Well, right, but I'm adding that in there.
Explaining this to my later. Like, oh, did you miss that?
Well,
Let me slow things down.
Wow, tied to the table, just like. By the way, I'm adding terms to our agreement.
Pray I don't alter it further.
Just tied to the table. Pray I don't alter it any further.
It was just an idea so that we both have something to work towards.
Together as friends.
You know, and like the safety and so that we don't all die. Unless you're good with that, or your reign might be cut pretty short. I'm just saying, if you want to rule this colony for more than about a month, we're going to have to band together to kill this thing, according to this, well, not you, because you don't know about it, according to two of the elves that came with me.
Sycorax was right. You speak nonsense.
Yeah, okay. But the part about us accepting the deal, that was accurate. So.
Very well, then.
Dang it.
It was a good try.
A for
We are in
attempt.
agreement.
We're just going to point the Demogorgon at them.
Right.
And then asks if they say
Oh no, they're
I'm
so
so
far away
sorry.
they can't hear us.
Mind your thoughts. I am going to unshield your mind now.
Yep. I'm just
Ilsincorian turns to stride out of the room, a few steps out of it, and you hear him speak to Sycorax. Says, "Release this one. He will be a fine laborer, send him down to the thrall holding cells.
The whole time just thinking, if I only had a brain.
And you hear Cygarax respond in turn. Oh, yes, of course, Ilson Corian, as you wish. Cygarax comes in the room and unstraps you from your laying position. You sit up for the first time in quite a while, and they lead you out of the room.
I'm gonna take one more shot at this. Did he tell you that you were supposed to preserve, not finish preparing the one who was laying beside me? You made that very clear in our conversation. That
Make a deception check.
15.
Okay, now make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, 16.
16. Cygarax says to you, Yormic Ironhand Brewmantle, you are truly a gifted liar. And you can't help but notice the hint of sarcasm.
Most people can't read my mind, for what it's worth.
Cheating.
Alright, so Cygarax leads you eventually to where you find Nero and Elvis alive and well. So you are brought out of the chamber laboratory that you were in, and
You get beheaded and the music's
as
picking up.
you and you look around as you're led to your destination, trying to keep track of where exactly in these tunnels you are, and you are very fortunate enough to hear a voice in your mind not long after that. Ilson Corian, nowhere in sight. But it is clearly his voice. He says, alas, I almost forgot. You need to know the way. And this, like, 3D vision floods your mind.
Infiltrate the steam pins.
And it's a path, a route from a place that you don't know the source of it yet, but it's a path that you know you are supposed to follow.
Sweet.
But yeah, so it takes a little bit. Eventually, they lead you to these guys. Bryn, have you thought of a final question in the meantime, perchance?
No.
No?
Well,
If not, that's okay. This is not necessarily like your last chance to ask this question.
I'm gonna hold off. I had one in mind, and then I got new information that I feel like may have influenced. Like, I feel like it could have influenced it a little bit, so I'm gonna hold off on it.
Okay. So, after it's been hours since your bout in the arena, yours and Eldith's. You've settled in as much as you can, really, to your room with what supposedly passes for a bed, really just a stone slab on the ground. But you and Eldith, I don't know, take in your surroundings, get a feel for the other creatures in your hall. After the bout, you're not taken back to the same room as you woke up in, but a slightly larger room that seems to be occupied by several other occupying creatures of various types. But a bunch of them are sleeping, napping. It's clearly not their shift for whatever these illithids have these thralls doing.
Do I recognize any of them?
Make a perception check.
Dead man, Jim Jar. Darn it. 10.
10. So you don't recognize any of the individuals sleeping in the room that you're in. But after doing that scan and sitting down well, there's not really a corner to this round room, but sitting down by your bed near the wall, you just find yourself staring out the hall door. Not a whole lot better to do at the moment. But after a while gazing out there, a small creature catches your eye. Clearly attempting to move discreetly through the hall. You see a short Zwerfneblin wearing a familiar-looking dark cloak.
I immediately get up
Okay.
and re-click my Boots of Speed
Okay.
and just dart after whoever this is to just grab them.
All right. You just fly up to this individual, grab it by the scruff of the collar.
I just want to lift him so that like his little legs could just be running,
And-
but he's not going anywhere.
And you scare the absolute shit out of Jim Jar.
Ew.
It starts dripping. Oh.
Jesus, Nero! Oh my! Like, holy shit, dude! Calm down, dude. You're gonna get us fucking caught.
Oh. Am I? I'm going to get us caught. Is that right, Jim Job? As I like my knuckles start like turning white.
Dude, shut up! Inside.
Still holding him in the air, walk in to the room that I was just in.
Okay, so you just like carry him into the room.
I'm just he's not going anywhere.
So a few of the other denizens of this room have stirred in the meantime. 'Cause, I mean, you're running in full plate armor really quickly. So some of them look up to see the commotion, but then just like watch you come back in holding this Zwerfneblin by the collar. You still just keep holding him.
Now I get over to my like bed and I
Your
just
slab.
I just like chuck him toward it to the
Okay.
point where I'm like posturing in front of him so he's got nowhere to go.
Okay.
But
Yeah, you corner Jim Jar.
corner in the round room.
He
The whole thing's a corner.
doesn't make a move to evade you.
So, Jim Jar, my friend, as I like tap my sword on the ground next to me while talking to him. An interesting little event, wasn't it?
Yeah, what the fuck is your problem? I'm here to help you.
Oh,
They can't see me the way they see you.
What?
So my people a long time ago, along with some of the Duergar, look, Mind Flayers used to just have everything, and my people retained some of what allowed them to resist and fight back.
Insight check.
Sure.
For sure. For once, we did it. We did it, guys.
And he's telling the truth.
But at least we know. 18.
You're confident he's not lying to you.
Alright, I start.
He's
I
like
start,
a little bit scared. He's like acting like he's like trying to be a little tough and not scared, but like he's like low key like fuck. I hope Nero doesn't kill the shit out of me.
Yeah, I start visibly like coming a little bit down. All right.
No, he's only gonna kill you once.
Now only one divine smite point will be used.
Some of the dirt.
Continue.
Side note, it probably doesn't actually matter, but you've been chilling long enough that you have had a short rest at that
Yeah.
point.
Gives me my Vavimity back. Like I said.
I mean, if you want to use it, I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, I might.
Don't you have to kill whatever you vow on, Nitty?
No.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
Nero has to.
It feels like a waste to not to.
Yeah, exactly.
There is no rule specifying you have to.
So, yeah, man, it's not even like that crazy of a thing. You know how Yormik turns his ass invisible? Yeah,
Right.
well, I can make myself
Rest of it.
undetectable.
So they just can't see you or can't detect you.
Remember that beacon in the outpost?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Vera was the one who said it was putting off an aura of like non-detection. Yeah, I just have that built in.
But you were just strolling through here. Any of them could have seen you.
Props up the Pawafwe. It's like, I'm also regular sneaky.
Fair point.
He's not wrong.
Also regular sneaky.
So, at this point, I'll just like position myself less aggressively, but also just like sitting next to him to kind of like block if anybody were to walk past, like block seeing him.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
In this game.
So, what's your plan?
I'll tell you in this game.
They've got me as some sort of gladiator right now.
That's plenty.
Oh, that kind of sounds cool.
I was trying to get a big
Well-
disguise self into you.
Oh yeah.
In some situations, it might be. In a colony of brain-eating monsters, it's a little bit less glamorous.
Yeah, okay. I guess that's fair. It's not exactly getting the ladies, you know. Or
Looking at-
dudes. Hey, no judgment. Whatever you're into.
look around the room and like looking at like the different like creepy monsters and stuff in here, and I'm like, yeah, picking's not great.
I feel like Darendil could have been kind of at home here.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. But now his home is the dirt. So, anyways.
Oh, I have. Okay, sorry. Nope.
So. Sorry, you say anything else?
What's your plan?
So this was step one, and I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't even sure if that was gonna work or if I was gonna find any of you.
Well, Eldith and I are here. I don't know where the others are. It seems like this is our like holding area. I don't even know if the others are alive at this point.
So, not 2 seconds after you say that, you, led by your.
Before we walk into the room,
Okay.
I'm gonna turn to the dude who's guiding me. Like, if you give me one moment, I have a certain appearance to uphold with these people. I'm gonna cast Disguise Self to turn myself into Bryn.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay. Yeah, your form becomes that of the great Bryn Stormwind.
They think we're twins. It's this whole thing.
So, as you say that you don't know where any of your other companions are, you see Bryn stroll into the cell that you're in. You see Sycorax, who was obviously guiding him, who had sort of gestured into the open doored room.
Mm-hmm.
And as he enters, as Bryn enters, Sikorax leaves.
Hold on.
It's the other man.
Bryn, you're right. What did they do to you?
Well, they did so many things to me.
So you hear Yormik's voice come out of Bryn's face.
It's
and
tempting
weird.
to not be Yormik.
So the like smile kind of like fades into a it's Yormik face where it's like I'm still happy to know that he's alive, but at the same time I'm like this piece of crap.
It's not Bryn.
And so in Elvish I'm like Yormik, you look much better like that, but you still smell terrible and are not particularly intelligent.
I see.
Okay.
So this Elvish language and banter we always have. Haha. But I have a song to sing to encourage you.
Oh please
perhaps-
no! It's
No, please.
no.
Oh, please
Jinjar,
do.
you must also hear this. Let's go over to where you had him a moment ago, away in the corner.
All right.
So, there was once a fighter great and strong who tried very hard, and when he fought in battle, the crowd would scream real loud, and when he fought, soon from now, a great eruption was around, and after that eruption, he got the heck out of town. So just remember that.
So I don't. So I have the knowledge of what he's trying to impart. I don't have any idea if this is just Yormik being Yormik, or if
roll
it
a
seems like
wisdom
he's
check.
actually trying to tell me something.
Teach me how to improv after this, will you?
Uh-huh.
16.
16. The things that he's saying to you don't make for a particularly good song or story.
Sounds like
He might be trying to speak in code of some sort, but his meaning is not
Thieves can't do that.
super apparent.
One of my famous songs.
Oh. But well done.
Oh my god.
Bryn,
Bryn.
great.
Um,
And honestly, your best work. Probably
Ever.
haven't heard. Yeah,
yeah, so
absolutely.
make sure you watch me tomorrow after the crowd erupts around you,
Oh,
and we'll talk after that. And I'm gonna go sit on the bed and kind of careful, and then I'm gonna drop disguise self and be like, "Hi, I fooled you. It was me the whole time."
Oh my god.
wow. Yormik, it was you the whole time?
It was me. It's surprising, I know.
Alright, listen.
Are we gonna kill him? He ran away from us in
Yeah.
the fight.
It turns out he's alright.
Why? Just because they don't affect him? Which is something that I probably knew? I don't know.
So it turns out, you know how you can go invisible. This is the short story, okay?
Yeah.
Well,
Short joke.
Durgar, go invisible. Zverfneblin, good at not being detected.
So, like, almost as good as Durgar. Okay, cool. Noted.
Yeah, sure.
Interesting.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, so only one of us got away from that ambush.
Yeah, but you're real short, so.
Alright, alright.
He's just like, yeah, all right. Well, you're not wrong.
So
I
doesn't
am
get said
very
very often.
tall for a Zverfneblin, I'll have you know.
And I'm taller than you, but short for a dwarf, so how's that?
Well played.
Anyway, I hear you're fighting tomorrow, maybe?
well, now I guess.
Yeah, well, you probably are, probably.
Alright.
I'm gonna hang out with this one tomorrow.
So-
We're gonna cheer you on. It's gonna be great, and you'll hear us cheer you on.
What about Eldith? You should bring Eldith with you to cheer.
Is Eldith here?
Yeah, she's like not far from where he's at.
Oh,
Yeah, she's right there.
she look real bad.
She's like pretty beat up.
What'd you do?
So she fought.
She has short rest. She can use a hit die.
You don't know what a monkey is.
No. I've used the term several times.
What's a you don't know what a monkey is?
So
It's like the distant cousin of a
So do you
homunculus.
remember? Do you remember those things that we fought at the outpost?
the drow?
No, the creatures, the
That's not what some drow
the
look like.
beefy looking ones.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
big drow.
Right? Nope.
The
nope,
dragons.
not drought.
Yeah.
Nope, the demons.
Sure. Whatever. Anyway.
So add 2 more arms to
Okay.
them and a tail and some fur,
Like a dragon tail or like a.
like a.
I'm a very
Sure.
vivid imaginer.
Yes, absolutely. A dragon tail with hair.
It was a dragon.
Have you?
And big and ooh ah ah. She fought something like that.
Did you win?
Paladin.
Does it fucking look like I won?
I'm not sure.
Fuck you. She's just like battered over most of her like face and every
Yeah, no,
visible
for
part of
sure.
her body that there
I
is.
wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt.
You should see the other
So
guy.
what about Bryn? Do you know what happened to Bryn?
No.
There was a wink there.
I know.
People
Oh
care.
yeah.
And I definitely couldn't talk more about that at all.
Oh.
But it'll come later.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, I'm going to go fight in an arena.
Yeah.
And-
Vera, I think I can. Yeah. Vera and I were in a spa together, but she decided to stay a little bit longer.
Oh.
Maybe we'll run into her later. I'm not sure yet.
Okay. So I'm going to be fighting in an arena
Right?
tomorrow.
Yes.
Um,
I'll be there.
You guys are going to be cheering for me.
Yeah.
And then what?
You better win, I bet.
And
I bet so many rations on you winning.
all right. Let's say I win.
Yeah.
Then what?
So here's the deal. If we can
You know what?
keep no. I got
You know what? You're actually
you just focus on winning.
I'll do my thing.
Jim
and
Jar, I'll tell you about
It's
our plan.
probably better if you just don't say anything else.
Yeah.
That's the safest way for it.
Basically,
this to
we
go.
take over the food supply eventually through winning gambling. It's one match at a time, so don't lose.
But it's all in brains.
Right. Well, I did eat. Our lizards are probably dead. I think I ate part of one of them, not on purpose, but. Do we know where Galabagul is?
We haven't seen him at all.
It's all over the hallways.
Interesting.
So, so we can continue your veiled planning in the morning,
Fair.
but we can take a quick break. You guys are all gonna sleep where you're at for the night. You're gonna get a point of exhaustion.
What? That's fair.
You're just running for your life.
Yeah, they're just like
Through
they're
a
just like
labyrinth of
perma
your
torturing you,
own mind.
and you just like
a little bit of flying.
consistent adrenaline. Yeah.
At least you're not losing spell slots.
But yeah, so
Except
you
that
guys all will get a
Only
long
in your
rest.
mind.
We'll see.
Well, where
And-
do you think spells exist?
Yeah, sorry. And we'll take a super quick break and come back for a little
We'll be
bit.
back.
Hiya!
Woo! All right. Sweet.
I
Onwards and
almost
upwards.
Be back in a few minutes.
I really did.
That would have
What's
All right, and we're back. So we left off. Nero, Jimjar, Eldith, and a Yormik disguised briefly as Bryn are all down in the hold together.
Had to bard it.
Vera, unfortunately, accrues no rest during this time.
Because you
As
haven't used any spells.
But think about how your billable hours are going.
That's one point of
consulting
exhaustion.
jokes. That's one point of exhaustion, Nero.
All right, marking
Oh
that
my
inspiration
God.
down.
There
On
it
my
is.
DM inspiration on my sheet. Marking it.
touch this camera.
No,
Man.
no. Look, my bags are sitting in the same spot as they have been.
Hello.
Allegedly.
It's really bad at autofocusing. All right, cool.
We'll
It's
stay
fixed
right
now.
Is
here.
Dan still watching
I'm
us?
also bad at
Did I
autofocusing.
Did I just
It's
instantly
fine.
lose my
No,
DM
I just
inspiration?
I'll set it next week so that it's like cool. Like I'll have you guys set the zoom, and I'll be like, awesome. Stop auto zooming. Just stay focused here.
Or Brian Paul, for that matter.
Okay.
Watching.
So, you spend the rest of your day in service of Cyrog, like a loyal cat kneading away.
And its fellow cat.
So any other hints you are attempting to drop, or and also just
So-
to remind you, because it's not in your pocket, you
Right.
do have an unknown item, material, whatever.
I would
in your
like
pocket.
to investigate this material without bringing it out of my pocket.
Okay. Make a. For this, I'm gonna go with just intelligence check.
That is a 19.
A
No,
19.
it is a 19. I thought I had a
19.
plus, but I do not.
So, it feels somewhat similar to a heavy gemstone that you have felt before.
Yes. Okay.
And there are two of them in your pocket.
2?
That's
Oh man.
Huh?
Twin cat.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Okay. I'm gonna turn to Nero and Eldith and Jimjar and just be like, just no matter what happens tomorrow, just remember that if you follow me, it'll be alright. I'll be the one to tuck you in at night.
Well, thank you, Uncle
I'm
Cracker.
giving you some. Oh god, I just lost his name.
Uncle Cracker.
Uncle
Phil.
Cracker. Uncle Cracker.
Oh no, I was thinking you were
Follow
going for
me.
Tarzan.
Oh.
No.
Follow me.
I was thinking you were going for Phil Collins. You don't get DM inspiration
That's
after
fair.
all. It's
Um,
less good of a
It
reference.
is. But
We're a Phil Collins stream. We're not an Uncle Cracker stream.
true.
No.
That's, I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna leave you with that of following me. I'm gonna just stare them all down.
Wait.
Well,
Follow.
I'll be in an arena,
No, don't worry about that. You'll
so
just always know where I am. You can find stuff, right? Like specifically, you can find things. You've done that before when we were like chasing the drow girl.
give me a hat real quick.
No.
Yormik, I'll give it right back to you.
Allegedly. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna get a real good look. Just take a little bit to just study his hat, get super familiar with it, so I can use locate object someday.
Okay.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna, while Yormik's probably like fidgeting while I'm sitting here looking at the hat, I'll be like, all right.
All right.
Oh wait,
You're
okay,
what?
there you go.
What is going on, dude?
I don't know. I feel very inspired lately.
You're clearly either confused or trying to tell us something. All right, so they can't hear my thoughts.
So
Hence why I'm hiding between Nero and this wall, so people can't actually see me too.
Right. Yep. I'm
Uh-huh.
on board. So
Not
you,
near stuff you there.
why don't you guess what I'm trying to say, and I will confirm
That's not
it.
fair because I know.
That's, okay. Yeah. No. That's
Welcome
fair.
to our world.
Yeah. I am saying what I can. Okay, you know how I'm very good at juggling?
Sure.
Okay, so like, I don't have my juggling equipment with me, but like, pretend, and I'm gonna pull out the 2 gemstones. But like, these are like the same size as I juggle normally, and like, you know, how I get really upset when my things drop, when the balls drop. Like, I get really upset when that happens. Well, like, other people get really mad when I mess up my act too, and I was thinking about performing juggling tomorrow as like a way for us to get some side income to bet during Nero's fight. So just watch out for that, and if people get upset at me because I'm bad, which never happens but could, just like stick with me and we'll be fine. Does that make more sense or less?
No, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll.
Yeah, that's fair.
So clearly he's trying to not tell us something.
So, like, you know how like brains are great and like that they can read your mind. That's like the best thing ever.
I don't have that problem, but sure.
Right. Well, like, it's the best thing ever. So like, I'm trying to keep that at the front of my head right now. Yeah, I think. So, do you remember when I juggled in the West Cleft District and Zatuo got in my way?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so like, these guys are very smart, but they're not super like dexterous, and I'm afraid some of them might get in the way tomorrow when I juggle. Which would happen like right as Nero's fighting, so that we get more points. So like, if I juggle wrong, or they get in the way, which is more likely, because again, like they got this stuff going on, then you guys just come with me, and we'll like regroup here, plan a press conference, and then we'll get out of this area.
All right. Give me one. I'll go when you go.
Okay. We decided we like him.
Yep. Yomic.
Okay. Just remember when you juggle, the goal is to never have more than one in your hand. You have to be throwing them all the time. And I give him one.
Okay.
That's an actual juggling tip, in case you're wondering.
That's an actual juggling tip.
Checks out.
Very.
We're all trying to like interpret this like a meaning.
Yeah.
Like there isn't one this time.
Oh,
Makes it all the more confusing.
right.
I do have another question.
Okay.
My last question.
So yeah, your last question as
So
as Cyrog releases you from your duties for the evening,
So-
you feel like it would just be a really good idea for you to just go get some rest right now.
so he had said he had thought, I guess, that there was something he tried to do that did not go well, right? That was what was it that you were trying to do that didn't go well?
to cheat death.
Well, I'm gonna go get some rest. I just really feel like it right now.
It's not like you have any experience with that or anything.
Actually, that's true. I'll sort of stop and be like, I have ways of cheating death. I'm sure you can tell. I guess I just assume that you know everything that's going on in my head.
You assume correctly. Though clearly your studies have not given you a holistic view of the abilities of the magic that you reference.
All right. I guess I'm gonna go get some rest.
Very well, Bryn Stormwind. Alright.
Sleep on top of my brain.
Sleep well, sweet talking brain.
I roll over in my sleep and just slide off him.
Gross.
Is he slimy? I'm assuming he's slimy.
A little bit.
Okay.
Spooky, slimy brain.
I mean, so he floats in like a large brine pool. That he basically
Don't we all
comes up from just enough that you can
pet him?
do what you gotta do.
You're a brine pool.
You're a brine. Almost. A brine pool.
Brain pool, Stormwind.
Okay. So, make a. No, this would definitely be an Arcana check, or actually, no, it'd be an Arcana check.
Get it.
11. I rolled above a 7 this time.
So you recall that magics that resurrect creatures, despite their immense power, you know that they cannot bring back a creature that has died of natural causes, particularly the chief example just being old age. So you go to sleep, pondering what it might be that ails Cyrog. Yeah. Vera, you lay motionless
Running.
in mental agony and fatigue on a bed somewhere or on a table somewhere.
I mean, I've been laying down all day. Don't get me wrong.
And it is creeping up on 11, so we will pick up in the Illithid colony in the morning next Wednesday. Cool. Well, thanks for hanging out for our first Runtime Initiative stream. That was pretty cool.
That was fun.
Woo!
Yeah.
Check out our really cool shirts.
Thank you, Lenny.
Thanks, Lenny. We have logos on the back, but my chair doesn't turn far enough.
We're gonna
so you
have
don't get to see
some
it.
merch up soon, probably.
That's
Share the
probably
merch store,
not
which
true.
doesn't exist.
Right.
Feel free to.
Feel free to come up with our merch store.
Yeah,
Right,
make,
yeah.
make a merch
Maybe
store.
I'll
You
buy
asked
it.
for it.
Maybe I'll buy the domain name.
We would also
Merchstore.com.
settle for you
Runtime
coming back to watch
Initiative.
again next week. So
Yeah.
that'd be sweet.
Do that.
But
Do that.
thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Woo!
Adios.
Bye.